Hello and welcome to Motorcult Podcast episode 67. I'm Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello, sir.
Hello there.
How are you this fine Wednesday?
Oh, fantastic. We actually have good beer now.
Yeah, I'm watching you pour. It looks very weighty.
It is.
Very brown.
Can I see your gigantic glass?
Oh, you mean this glass?
Yes, your normal size glass. That's just
Fabulous. I'm just probably a tiny person. Or, wait, yes, tiny person. Jana's back.
I am. I'm still here, guys.
Excellent. And then, Ryan.
I have a guest.
We have a guest.
I brought a man who's upside down.
He's upside down?
Well, normally. He's from New Zealand.
Oh, I understand. Where the gravitational thing spins the wrong way.
Yeah.
And the glove box is open upside down.
Yep.
And it's the only place that the new Chevy Silverado HD actually looks correct. Yes.
Wait, are we? I hope we're talking about. Yes, we are talking about that in this episode.
Good. His name's Richard Halkyard. Yes.
You like cats, correct?
He likes
I do.
I like cats a lot.
and
We all
retro
like
tech
cats.
and cars.
I have a feeling this episode's going to be one big digression, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Apologies in advance.
No need to apologize. We are all obtuse people here, so.
Fantastic.
We don't like normies, so as long as you don't identify as a normal person. Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, God, no.
Fabulous. I appreciate that you're a Kiwi. All right, we're starting off with beer.
Also,
What
Jana,
are we drinking?
is 1 second. First,
Okay, all right.
Is it real Kiwi hours still?
No, it's 9:02.
Jana has a timer on her watch, so she knows what time Kiwis are awake.
Yeah, awesome.
Really?
Yeah, I
Seriously, she does.
used to.
And
She wants to know. She likes to know when Kiwis are
I
awake.
love kiwis.
I
Not the
like
bird,
Flight of the
not
Conchords. I'm
people.
basically a supporter.
So anyway, we are drinking the house brand beer of a grocery store.
Which grocery store?
Lunds and Byerly's, actually.
That's a
It's
good one.
their Russian Imperial Oatmeal Stout. It is actually it's only 9% ABV, so that's pretty good. 41
I cannot see through it.
Yeah, it's a 41 IBU. It's got a gravity of probably about 1,000. And it's,
For those of you that don't know, that's an implausibly high gravity number.
the gravity is how thick the oil is. The gravity of 1,000 would be a rock. Yeah, it'd just be rock.
So we were drinking engine oil then. Okay.
Yeah, it's made by Inky Brewing actually, which is one of the
We've
better.
had some of their beers before.
Yeah, it's one of
You
the
brought 'em
better craft breweries in the Twin Cities, and I just think it's really funny that a grocery store has such an amazing brewery doing their house beer. So,
in. Clearly, they're very
Wait.
influential.
without further ado,
Adieu.
let's take a sip.
Let's. Oh, it's incredibly aromatic in this glass.
That's really good. Yeah, yeah. Tell me about the smell. Oh my God!
Wow.
You put your whole head in the glass.
It's like a beer sewer system in here.
A beer sewer.
Well,
Richard,
doesn't
how do you
look
like it?
like that? It's got like the foam floating around, like
It does,
on
yes.
top
Yeah.
of like the sewer backwash out into the river.
Well,
Ooh,
Richard.
that's got a fabulous after.
Richard came to my shop and we did a whole bunch of work for him. I felt bad for how much he had to spend, but so I decided I was gonna.
But he knew it was
I was
coming,
gonna.
right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I told him I was gonna treat him with a really good beer, so I did.
You have.
Good.
love it.
Yes, it's really good. So it's also it's Imperial Stout. It's hard to make that bad.
It's
Yeah.
definitely stout season. I don't know if you guys have seen outside, but there's snow.
Yes.
And it's cold.
I
been-
refuse.
I've been waiting for
Do you
stout
need me to
season.
close that? Are you going to be okay? Or
I'll manage.
okay.
We'll put up a little green
appreciate you
screen.
pushing
We'll put
through.
up a green screen and have just like some stills from Miami Vice in the background. So you're like, oh, cool. It is 1980s Miami. It's smoggy and
OBS natively supports green screens. So we
Ah,
could
perfect.
Totally
We
do
could
that.
actually
we
do
could
that.
put one behind you and Jana and just have whatever you want,
Yes.
basically.
Bunch of Twingos.
Could have like a Barney episode playing behind you,
that'd be fun.
Twingos, like a French countryside.
Richard, have you ever seen the movie Doctor Strangelove?
Oh,
Or
yes.
no,
Oh, yeah.
actually, I wasn't even thinking of that. No, I was thinking of Airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so when they go to pick up the Michael Stryker, the main character's old commander, and they're driving in the Mustang in the background, it starts out just a road, and the road begins to speed up, and they go off the road, and then in the background, it's like
Then they're on like
it's
the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, and they had like the Indians shooting arrows at them
Completely
and
sensical,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah. Wait, that could be our background. It'd be great.
I think that piece of footage probably exists independently of that movie somewhere.
I'm sure it's
that
just
we can
some
find.
like stock footage. So anyway, Richard,
Yes.
you are a really interesting car enthusiast, and that's why I wanted to have you on. I think I wanted to have you on because you have kind of like a cool kind of collection of weird cars. Interesting story. You're into a lot of the same stuff we are, and you're probably, I think, the only New Zealand immigrant that's also into cars in Minnesota that I know of.
I haven't come across another one. That's true.
Rare breed.
So, why don't you tell me about what kind of cars you own, or tell everybody about what you own?
All right. Well,
Or tell everyone via Ryan.
well, I'd say the one that people get most interested in is my Triumph 2000.
Yeah.
Which is
That's a really cool car.
yeah,
Berger has never seen it.
I have not.
Oh well, it's something to behold. It is a 1968 station wagon, which Triumph built.
Oh, good. You're looking it up.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, Triumph built the sedan version of that in England. It was incredibly popular over there. The station wagon conversion is very rare. My grandparents bought that new in England, emigrated to New Zealand a few years later, took it with them.
Yeah, just
And-
like that one.
Yeah, and just never bothered to
top
replace it.
The blue one or the yellow one?
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, I know, but like, do you want a front or a back view?
Let's do the front. Let's
Yeah.
start with the front.
Yeah, the front looks weird. So
I
That
really
looks
like
like
the
a
front.
Corvair on the
yeah,
front.
yeah. I mean, it's very.
Oh, fender mirrors.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to excuse myself and fap.
They are completely and utterly useless, I will say.
Yeah, but you know what?
Doesn't matter.
You don't have a blind spot though.
You know what else is utterly useless? A Countach.
And it's a
Fair.
beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing.
No, I think
And
the
Murcielago even.
so the front end it kind of looks like crossing a Corvair and like a '62 Thunderbird.
Yeah, yeah.
It really does.
And it looks. I think it looks weird, but it works.
Oh yeah, I love it, and like I think like in the terms of like not having like a big prominent front grille, I think it was kind of ahead of its time.
It really was, yeah, because
many
that's
ways.
something that didn't really come around until like the '80s even.
Yeah, yeah,
And this is the late '60s, and they were doing this.
yeah. I mean, the design came out in the early '60s.
You know, it's kind of reminiscent also of like a BMW Type 4.
Yep, yep.
Which is like the Type 3, but with 2 headlights, and a little bit bigger. And awful in every way.
The side profile, the rear fender arch reminds me of that Ford that they used in Harry Potter.
Oh, the Ford Anglia.
Anglia.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. My mum had one when I was a kid.
It's also got
jeez.
it's also got the
You're more
surf
interesting than
line.
we are.
It's got the surf line of the early Skylines too.
It
So-
really, yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I see. I get a lot of that.
Yeah, it's got that rear fender of the early Skylines.
Yep.
Look at the rear end and see if you can get a picture with the hatch closed, because I love the rear end on this.
I will see what I can do.
Because
Oh, yeah.
the rear end, I think it's is it the TR4? I was thinking of.
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the rear end of that.
Oh yeah, I mean
There
that
it
was
is,
that was its contemporary.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that sort of like almost fastback rear end
It
look.
is, yeah.
I spent most of my early car passenger days in the third row of an Audi 100 Avant, so I've got a great love.
You
for
pronounce
that kind of
Third Reich weirdly.
So
So
it's the
there's
accent.
there's the tuckus end of this thing.
I
Yep.
love the recessed taillights.
Does that have BMW 1600 wheel covers on it, or is it just utterly,
look.
eerily similar?
No, Michelotti designed the 2000 and consulted on the Neue Klasse, so
Oh, so that makes sense then. All right.
Yeah.
So
That explains why this looks like a BMW 2000 wagon.
yeah,
It-
it's also got the weird semi-trailing suspension. That
Oh,
BMW
so
used
it's a
as
lot
well.
of fun then.
Oh yeah, it is. It that thing
That
can go.
tail happy.
Oh yeah, it can
Good.
go around corners. It can go around corners sideways.
it's,
Well, yeah. Well, that should lead us into the engine. I do want to touch on that because
yeah.
you were priming me, Ryan, just a
yeah,
little
it
bit on
was.
this.
It's a very cool engine.
Yeah.
It's.
I am
do you-
lead.
do you
I'm
wanna-
led to believe that it
Tell
has
me
six
about it, 'cause you
cylinders.
actually know about it. Like,
Yep.
I just know what you told me like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's a teeny tiny 2-liter inline six.
I need to excuse myself again and fap again.
Carbureted too, right?
Yeah, twin Stromberg carbs.
God damn it.
It's a shorter stroke version of what they put in the TR5, TR250, TR6
Ah,
sports cars.
so they made it smaller the correct way by just decreasing stroke.
well, no, they did it.
What does it rev to?
Not much.
Oh.
They talk about catastrophic crankshaft resonance at about 6.5.
Oh,
Did
okay.
they not balance the crank in those?
Not very well, clearly.
Well, because have
Could
you
you
ever
take? I want to see a blueprinted one of those engines.
have you ever seen
Oh,
the
yeah.
crankshafts to like old like old MGBs and stuff. Like, it's literally just plumber's pipe.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
They took the rough cast. They didn't bother to spin that thing in a lathe.
Yeah.
No, those counterweights are just disgusting.
They aren't
They're
really...
probably dropping like powdered cast metal into the pan for like 30,000 miles.
Well,
filings.
they actually, if I remember correctly, because I
That's what plates
remember...
crave.
I remember when I was at Dunwoody, there was a crankshaft one, and it was just used as an example of a non-counterweighted crankshaft. It's like the only one they could find, and it was like literally.
Bet it revved like crazy though.
Like it was like pipes that were twisted together and Loctited in place. And no, it does not rev like crazy.
Yeah, it's
Fine.
But they did this backwards. It started out as a 4-cylinder, and then they tacked another two cylinders on, and then it was a 1600cc straight six.
So what 4-cylinder did they start with? Was it like the Morris 4-cylinder?
It was
Or the Austin or whatever it was?
No, it was
Was it overhead valve? Is it still Cannon block?
It's overhead valve.
Okay.
It's it was some post-war standard Triumph.
Post-war chime.
engine. Yeah,
Oh.
but
It's
I
worth
have
it.
2 chimes here. I have the post-war for unique post-war cars, and then I have which is the pre-war bell. That one's...
It didn't ring well.
Sorry, the pre-war bell gets a lot of use. It's wearing out. There we go.
Did Nick give us that? Who gave us
I
that?
can't remember. I think Nick did, yeah.
Anyway, sorry. But no, we've done actually an episode that was largely completely based on very small displacement, high cylinder count engines, and I don't know if we touched on this one.
Yeah, I mentioned yours.
we? Okay.
I mentioned yours in passing that you had a 2-liter inline 6. So do you know if they make like a counterweighted crankshaft for it? Like, does anybody make one aftermarket?
probably not. That I mean, most
such a weird engine,
yeah, most of
yeah.
the performance work gets done on the 2.5 that the TRs had. I mean, that was the one that was available with fuel injection outside of the US.
You don't want
I bet that was awful. Was it
You
mechanical?
don't want that.
Lucas mechanical
Oh!
fuel injection.
Get it
So
away!
none of those are left anymore, presumably.
My parents actually had one when I was a kid. They put that engine in the 2000, and it didn't run very often, but when it did, it was surprisingly quick for something that old.
Well, yeah,
it's
but
very light, I'm sure.
I think
Yeah.
that's the most. That's the description of every British car.
Also damning a faint praise.
Oh yeah.
It was
Very
really
quick
quick
for
when-
something
when
of
it- when
this
it-
when it ran.
when
I'm
it
like, oh,
ran,
okay. How many
I-
qualifiers is that? 2 or 3?
Yeah, exactly. It's like me wanting a Frog Eye Sprite, and then I'm like, yeah, no, these were really cool for like 1950 and era before highways, and
still
when you
super
have
cool.
4-wheel drums.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that's when it gets that under all those qualifiers is in a cool car.
But oh yeah, the 2000 keeps up with traffic. It's got discs at the front. It stops all right.
It honestly, it's got enough power. Like
yeah.
it's enough power to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's something like
This
90
looks
horse.
literally just like a BMW 2002 inside.
Yeah, Michael Oddie did the same, did both
Yeah.
of them, and he was a lot of his cars because he also did. I think he also did the Hino Contessa, which also
Yes,
looks a lot like
yeah,
this.
yeah. Like the first time I saw a Hino Contessa, I thought, yeah, what the hell? It's a 2000.
Do you know how pissed I am? I've never seen one in my life, and that's like one of my favorite cars.
Yeah,
I love the Contessa.
they were weirdly popular in New Zealand for some reason.
Good.
There are cars that are popular in New Zealand?
Oh yeah. Oh
Really?
yeah. There is a whole thing.
Yeah, tell me about the New Zealand car culture, because that's something
I
I've
watched a few regular
I
car
know-
reviews videos, but he's like driving a Micra around. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, that's also Australia too, and that's totally a
no,
different
he
thing.
did it in New Zealand.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, they. New Zealand had essentially a closed market until like the mid to late 80s, and so most of the cars you got before then were assembled as CKD kits.
Really? Okay.
Mostly from British manufacturers.
And then I guess
And then after that, they built a few Japanese makes from CKD kits.
really.
Yeah, and then after
And
that,
so I guess the Contessa was one of those.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep. One of the first, I believe. After that, I mean, it just went nuts. The big thing in New Zealand is new cars are so expensive that most people buy used cars from Japan. Like not as some like exotic car
thing.
enthusiast thing. That is what
It's literally cheaper just to go buy one and import it.
yeah.
That's
That's pretty funny.
So all sorts of weird as hell JDM cars. Sometimes being
this
driven
sounds-
by people who don't care. They just bought it.
This
because-
is like
yeah.
sounds like
enough, and
the
it's a car.
perfect road system. It's just full of weird old British cars, Hino Contessas, and everything that I love from Japan.
I've been wanting to go to Havana, Cuba for a long time to
Yes,
see
me
their
too.
our culture. Now I want to go to New Zealand to see what all
I
this
think
is
we
about.
should get a boat and go island hopping.
I just want to do those two basically, but like I had no idea that it was a closed market until so recently.
Well, I want to add Puerto Rico and Jamaica as well, because those are two other really interesting.
Puerto Rico's interesting.
Oh, super, yeah.
Well, we
'Cause-
can go there without a passport.
Yeah, well, because Puerto Rico, they have they had this like weird car culture. Is like you had a lot of like the American influence, like drag racing and muscle cars and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But nobody could afford a muscle car; it wasn't economical. So they did the same stuff, but with like tiny Japanese cars.
Oh,
So that's why they like whenever you hear of like a rotary shop or something, like it's usually a Puerto Rican owned or
interesting.
enterprise. And they also have like a lot of like Suzuki stuff that they do. It's really cool. And then like weird Toyotas.
So we definitely need to make that the 51st
yeah.
state then.
Definitely.
Okay,
And then
cool.
Jamaica is really weird because it's kind of like New Zealand. Not that it was a closed market, but it's just like it was insane to be able to like buy a new car.
Well,
And
that's where my E46 M3 started life. It was a press car in Jamaica.
Really?
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. So in Jamaica, a lot of the cars there, from my understanding, are like just like imported like in bulk from like weird countries.
Okay.
So like those have like a shitload of Ladas, and then like a
Sounds just like
shitload of
Cuba.
like a shitload of like really weird BMWs, and then like a bunch of cool like small off-roader trucks.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah.
So that.
Do they get the new Jimny?
Yes, they do.
That is
actually.
badass.
So those Jimneys have always been imported to Jamaica. I've seen a lot of really cool,
Like
yeah,
Daihatsu Rockies and
yeah, stuff like that, like Rockies and Jimneys and Samurais. I've seen a lot of really cool builds of those from Jamaica. So I'd be really keen to see that.
I'm super retarded, and I realized that I did not have the screen grab open. So there is the rear end of this estate. Bear with me, I'm a bit thick.
There's probably somebody that's really, really just absolutely angry on our Twitch stream.
Ass mad.
Yeah, just ass mad on Twitch. And
That's one of my favorite Ryanisms of all time. Ass mad.
no,
Oh, look at that 2000 badge in the back of the
yeah.
bumper.
Mine doesn't have that because it has a tow hitch.
That's even better.
My grandfather used to tow his boat with it.
I love that.
This is getting so much more cool by the minute.
Oh yeah, and the whole thing was they bought that new in '68 and just never bothered to replace it.
So with that,
works.
did they what kind of brake systems on it?
You
So,
said
like,
front disc, rear drum?
Yeah, front disc,
front
rear
disc
drum.
for them. All right, that's actually
That's semi-trailing our rear. What's the front?
The front's McPherson strut.
Okay. So just a lower A-arm, control
Yeah,
arm, and a...
yeah.
Okay. That's still pretty advanced, honestly, for the time.
Oh yeah, for the time it's not bad. That engine is heavy as hell, so it does kind of offset the tail happiness with understeery, but
Oh, you get understeer and oversteer at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
How can you have more fun?
I don't know. This probably isn't pulling up properly in the Twitch feed, unfortunately, because it's the full screen. But
So does that? I know a lot. It wasn't like an assumed thing that you'll have individual ports or cylinders on British cars.
yeah.
On that engine, do you have one exhaust port for each cylinder, one intake for each cylinder, or is it like a Mini where you have like 3 intakes and 2 exhausts? Or
No,
whatever?
it's individual ports.
and
Oh,
is it
excellent.
crossflow or is it?
It's counterflow.
It's
The injected version though had ITBs.
that's actually very cool.
If you look up Triumph 2.5 PI,
So that's actually really cool
Yeah,
that you
it's-
actually have all that. Like, because and I also don't discount a counterflow cylinder head because the Datsun Straight 6 is a counterflow cylinder head, and you can make
Yeah.
but that's a 2-liter engine that you
It's-
can make like 350 horsepower on all motor.
Yeah, that's just like saying I can make 400 horsepower with CIS on my 5.5 liter Mercedes mill when you can make 100 more than that with EFI and no other changes.
Well, no,
it's still an inferior design.
It is
I
an inferior design. You
understand
can
why
make
it's
cool
there.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
You can- It's not to be discounted by any means. It's like a push rod. Like a push rod sucks, but it's like LS still has a push rod.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with the push
Very
rod.
power dense. Yes, I understand.
find an engine
Yeah,
bay
maybe
pic
I'll
of
have to
that.
type in engine.
Yeah.
Does PI stand for private investigator?
Yes.
Petrol injection.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, it is honestly, I think, one of the
That's
best looking fuel injection systems I've seen.
That looks like a
Well, you're going to have to look at it a lot.
BMW
Yeah,
M1.
yeah.
That's why they
It's,
made it look cool, because it's Lucas.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're going to be under there all the time. It's like
Yeah.
Alfa Romeo. They always polish their intake runners because you're going to have to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. It was used by Triumph, Maserati, and I believe a couple of Formula One cars.
Oh, God. They're
that's
all known for reliability.
This website sucks. Yeah, the injection system, it reminds me a lot of
Hey, those are carburetors.
Yeah, it's...
That looks really good,
are
though.
those carbies?
Yeah, the injection throttle bodies look an awful lot like side draft Webers.
It is. Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking. Because it kind of looks like on their, like the modern Triumph Bonneville.
That's probably
bikes.
as best I can do here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah, those look a lot like the Triumph Bonneville motorcycle injection. Those ones are electric fuel
Did
injection.
you just say those ones?
Those are?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does this use? Oh my God! It uses plastic fuel injection lines.
That's not original. They were nice braided lines
Okay.
to begin with.
Well, this is probably underneath the braiding. I mean,
Yeah.
there probably still would have been that Mayon or whatever underneath.
Look at all of those potentials for fuel leaks. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, and it's
There's
it
2
all
hose clamps per runner.
it all runs at like CIS type high pressures.
It's like 3,000
Oh,
bars.
it's a sprinkler of death.
And the
Yes.
Lucas mechanical
Yep.
fuel injection.
You know-
How could you go wrong?
oh
well,
yeah,
no, they could have put the distributor on that side as well, like Volkswagen did.
well, about that, the control unit for the fuel injection system, which has, I mean, it's like CIS, it's got all the high pressure stuff, is mounted on the distributor pedestal.
Yes. Perfect.
Because it's, unlike CIS, it's sequential. And so it actually,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's actually better in that sense then.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
it's better, but it's also makes it more of a sprinkler of death.
oh yeah.
This is
Well,
great.
it definitely increases the amount of fuel per cycle
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
CIS.
And it's
by
all on-
6-fold.
And it's Lucas, and it's on the side of the distributor. Oh my God!
I-
How did
I-
anybody survive?
I now understand when you said when it ran.
Yeah. Like my father worked for like the equivalent of like one of the big national labs in New Zealand.
Okay.
And it was essentially only because he had access to like precision measurement and like vacuum equipment that he could get the thing to run at all.
That's
Now, when you say vacuum, you do not mean vacuum tube, correct? You just mean like actual like vacuum.
Yeah, actual vacuum. Yeah, it's
Air.
all the whole thing's run off manifold vacuum.
Right.
Yeah, thank
Oh
God
my
no vacuum
God.
tubes. The
I wouldn't have put it past them.
the injection pump was a repurposed Lucas windshield wiper motor.
excellent. Another thing that's known for working flawlessly.
I shit you not.
Is Lucas still around?
Yeah,
How?
I think they're part of British Aerospace now.
Warranty claims.
Something I never want to be on.
Oh man.
A spaceship with Lucas Electronics.
Oh yeah. So the fuel pump, it worked fine in like English climates, but in New Zealand and Australia it gets a hell of a lot hotter,
No way.
and those fuel pumps would overheat and vapor lock, and you'd be driving along on a hot day, and all of a sudden it would stop.
Great.
And yeah, so people would do stuff like cut holes in the trunk floor where the fuel pump was mounted to scoop air up
Oh my God.
in there. Or,
Yeah, that's exactly what you want when you're running away from like venomous wallabies or something in Australia. Is your car to vapor lock?
And the Outback, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many deaths were caused by this injection system in Greater Australia
So, well,
back in the day?
I'm not sure about New Zealand. I know Australia's got like horrible wildlife. But I get a friend that I buy parts from that lives in Titibang, which is the greatest name of a town ever.
I was just about to comment on that.
But he was going out to his garage where he has a storage of Hillman Minxes and classic Subarus,
as one does.
as one does. Well, I mean, that's obviously the most Australian car collection I've ever heard of. All he needs is like a Holden Commodore and call it a day. But no, he
And
there was
Maloo.
a Wallaby Joey that was like somehow got trapped in there. It was just freaking out, and it, like got between him and the door, and he'd like jump inside one of his cars. All the Wallaby like broke everything, and he had to wait.
Yeah.
He's like stuck there for like 3 hours while Wallaby was trying to find his way out.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like that abandoned Nissan or whatever wagon in the middle of Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Does anybody have an update on that?
No, I haven't. I know he got it running and he drove it around, but he's got a lot of work that he's been doing on it.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got this car.
Yes.
What else do you have?
I've got a 1956 MGA.
I did not know about that.
It's my secret shame because
No, it's a great car.
It was a legit barn find that I got running a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and then kind of ran out of time for. And
Okay,
so
that's fair.
It essentially, I started it, drove it around the block, and then put it back in the garage.
That sounds like
Okay.
what one does with the MGA. Yeah.
Saving up for that Honda K-Series swap
Yeah, exactly.
to make it reliable.
A Miata engine.
There
yeah.
you go. Yeah.
I'm going to try and get it on the road this summer, though. A buddy of mine is keen to co-drive it on autocross with me. So
That'd be perfect to do some like weird road rally. Like go out with like
trial or
Intermark
something.
and like be the only person that like has ever won under the age of 60.
this is the great thing with like the going to the classic car events like that. Like anything that involves like that kind of thing, I
he's-
win.
You win because
I
you're
win.
because you're not geriatric.
It was like at the last summer, all the Triumph clubs had some national convention down in La Crosse.
That sounds like a horrible thing.
Wait, all of the Triumph clubs in America.
Yeah, and so I went.
You
down.
wouldn't even need GPS. You just follow the trail.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It was
This road is really bad grip. It's got to have a lot of oil on it.
Yeah.
Definitely on the
There's
right
a trail
path.
of oil, and then you go, yep, there you go. There's a stag, and then
oh yeah, I mean.
there's a TR8. Okay, perfect.
Oh,
There's
Oh,
a,
yeah, there
there's
were
a
plenty of
burnt up
those.
Spitfire. All right.
7 TR7s.
TR7,
partridge in the
TR7,
pear
TR7.
Yeah.
They have to travel in groups of 7, otherwise they never make any place.
Yeah. It's a luck thing. But
It really is.
It's like the E-Type Top Gear video. Like 1,000 E-Types will be there. I think what they mean to say is 1,000 E-Types will attempt to be there.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, more than a few cars came on flatbeds.
All the tow companies in Iowa were just like, yes.
And I mean, even I came back on 5.5 cylinders. So.
It was sponsored by the Tow Truck Union.
Yeah.
They're all submitting these like nice approval. Like, we want to host this because we have the best tow truck infrastructure in the country.
Where are the most tow trucks per capita in America?
Des Moines, oddly.
All right, that's
Perfect.
where the
Des
Triumph
Moines.
Convention is. Let's do it.
Perfect. But yes, I autocrossed the 2000
Oh,
and put in. I mean, I didn't come anywhere near first, but amongst every other Triumph that entered was a sports car, and I placed respectably.
I was gonna say, were
Wagons
you the
are
fastest
race
wagon?
cars.
Were you,
Wagons
were
are
you-
race cars.
Were you the fastest car with a fixed roof?
A long
No,
fixed roof.
because there was somebody with a ridiculous GT6. But
Rubbish.
no,
I'm gonna use my 1F on. Fuck that guy.
yeah, no, I figure middle of the pack, seeing as I was carrying a lot extra weight.
Yeah,
And,
no, I mean middle of the pack's perfectly
oh yeah,
fine.
and it's that
Very fine.
Especially with a car that you've never autocrossed. So
yeah, that wagon body is more than a bit floppy, I will say.
shocking.
Wag-
1960s wagon that doesn't have good body rigidity.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would not believe you.
The
Early unit body cars? I am
yeah.
shocked.
with a floor pan that sort of looks like patchwork.
Was it designed by Lucas?
Yeah.
No, it was just let's say. I mean, it towed a boat a lot, and in New Zealand that means going to the sea. So,
Ah! Yeah.
I see. So it's been repaired.
Oh, yeah,
Many,
yeah.
many
mended
times.
several times.
Yeah.
So, me and Jan, last time we were in Los Angeles, I feel like you would appreciate this.
Jana and I.
Whatever. last time we were in
Jana.
Los Angeles, it was like the last time we were in town, and Jana was taking a nap because we were driving like across town, and she woke up to me
I'm just,
screaming.
if I'm in a car, I'm going to be napping. Just
So,
I also have that ability and take advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
it's the only time I sleep. So
so we were driving, and Jan woke up to me screaming and hollering at the top of my lungs, and the reason she did is because I saw for the first time in my life a USDM Rover SD1.
Oh my god.
Oh, be still my beating heart.
I know, right?
I would
It's
love an
so
SD1.
I was
And it was an
very
American
angry.
one.
Yeah.
She didn't know what was going on. I shook her awake like, Jenna, you saw an SD1! I just saw. She was like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, exactly.
I was-
Minus the headphones.
I probably have
Yeah.
headphones on too.
Well, it could be.
Because Ryan screams a lot when
Yeah,
I'm in the car,
of
and
course
so
he
I'm
does.
used to being like woken awake by him screaming, and I always think something terrible happened.
Or like we're about to crash.
yeah,
or
or there's like a 5-car pileup, and it happens to be like his beloved uncle in the accident. Like I'm just expecting
Crash.
the worst. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no such
like-
thing as an accident.
And no, then it's like a Rover SD1.
And then it's just like some nice car that I can barely see because I'm not wearing my glasses. Like, and then I'm just like, what the fuck?
I told her and she didn't
Excuse
believe
me,
me.
sorry.
That's right, you get your 1F bomb.
I told her and she didn't believe me. She goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, I just saw Rover SD1. She goes, no, you didn't.
And then went back to sleep. And
No,
then,
you didn't.
I'm like, no, I did. I really did. I promise you. And it was
It was a 4-door Daytona. I had to be SD1.
it was SD1, and she like just totally did not believe me, and it's like seeing a unicorn.
I would have
Yeah.
driven through the embankment ditch and gotten back on the interstate the other way and done illegal things, not even allegedly, to catch that car.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was
When I saw Jensen Interceptor on 494 3 years ago, I almost crashed.
yeah, I don't blame you.
It was a beautiful, like, mint condition black Interceptor. I'm like,
I've
God, if
freaked
I
out.
had-
am I on the 19? I'm in it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, God, if I had crashed and seen one of those, I'd be like, yeah, worth it.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I got a deductible. It's fine. Like, I don't even care. Like,
Yeah, like-
$2,000 to see it.
Yeah.
Like we just got done.
Bargain.
We just got we just got done with Ben from Japanese Nostalgia Cars wedding, and yeah, so we were just like looking at like a bunch of like really cool cars and stuff that were like in the area and everything, and then it's just like of all the cars, of all the Ferraris and Countachs, not just Lamborghinis, Countachs is special in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Toyota Centuries and stuff. And the one car that made me like gawk was the SD1. So I just thought you were the only other person on earth that would
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah. Well,
that as much.
thank you for that. Yeah, no, I
love the SD1 as
I
well.
had one as my first car, and I miss it.
Oh my
I miss
God.
it greatly.
Wait, tell me about
Where
your
did you come from, sir?
New Zealand.
what is your car history? Because your car history, you've mentioned a bunch of.
No, we gotta get through the daily drivers before we get to car history.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, here let's go through the standard questions, and then we'll.
No, we're still on what do you drive?
Oh, what do you drive? Oh yeah, tell me
Okay.
the rest of your cars that you own.
Okay, so there's the Triumph, there's the MGA, there is an '85 Scirocco 8-valve, which again,
Garbage.
yeah, it's this one I got as a barn find
It
with.
looks really cool though.
How many barns do you frequent just looking for cars, man?
They all just happen to me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He refuses to drive from one city to another because if he drives past a barn, he will find something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty true. But this one got laid up.
Just
in,
happens to have a Sirocco in it.
This one got laid up in '93,
Okay.
and
Wonder why. Probably at CIS.
yeah, about that. But
Is it working well?
no.
Okay, I didn't
No,
think so.
No. Well, the fuel when I got it running, first fired it up, fuel tank was full of trash. It clogged a fuel filter in, I think about like an hour of me just like driving it around the block.
Oh
and
my
idling
God.
and
Not
stuff
so
like
bad,
that.
really.
And then did it again.
But how many times?
It was about 3 times until I
Okay.
decided fuck that and replaced the gas tank.
Okay.
Yeah, bring it to my shop. We'll charge you thousands of dollars and fix everything. You'll have a
Speaking of
perfect car.
thousands of dollars and fixing everything, we're not done with this list yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep expecting the next one to be the one that I know about, but it isn't. You have almost as many cars as I do, sir.
Yeah, but they're all garbage.
Okay. Some of mine are trash, too.
Yeah.
but-
So there's also technically a '96 Volkswagen Cabriolet that is. It's only there because I can't be bothered getting it scrapped.
Yeah, he's got a trailer.
Yeah, and
I got a Volkswagen shop that I work at. We can help.
Yeah. I mean, potential donor for an ABA swap for the
Scirocco.
For the Scirocco.
Yeah, I would just take the ABA out and just.
Is that a 5-speed?
No, no. It is legitimately
Get just the engine.
the most terrifyingly slow car I've ever driven.
Oh, they're awful.
I drove Jimmy Demas's 5-speed Cabrio back when it had all 5 forward gears, which is briefly, which is every Cabrio, because apparently those things lose second, fifth, and reverse like crazy.
Cabrios are any convertible
Wasn't a
Volkswagen
fast car.
is inherently awful.
Oh yeah. I mean, this one.
Based on a Mark III.
Yeah.
Of course it's
Both
bad.
a Mark IV front end.
I know, it's a Mark III and a half, I get it. But
Yeah, this one, I mean, the interior was trashed. The roof had been cut by somebody before we got it. The windshield had a crack basically all the way along. This
Which
was
means rust.
yeah. Oh yeah. It was so scabby. This was the car that I had back when I had no money.
Oh,
And,
you just got it to get you around.
yeah, and it was what my wife had when I moved here, and so it was
okay.
it became that. And I
And you still move for her.
sometimes I do wonder, looking out here, why I did this, but then I look at her and it's all good. So
Also,
that's
Minnesota's
so
the
sweet.
bomb, so even if she wasn't amazing, which I have no judgment.
Well, not only that, it's a lot more economical to own a car here.
that's true. I mean, I can basically consider fuel to be free compared to.
Especially now. Have
Yeah.
you guys seen gas? I never pay attention. I went out of my way to pay attention to what it was.
Yeah, it was cheap.
When I filled up and it was like $2.19. I'm like,
I actually had to do a lot of driving
Where?
around yesterday.
I don't know, but I filled up the FJ
Send
for
me the
$2.19.
GPS coordinates.
I don't know. Like I said, I put it on the company cart. I have no idea. I don't pay attention to fuel. I drive an electric car.
Oh, I know, but I drive a Toyota Sienna.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't help you.
Well, yesterday I had to drive around a whole lot, and I actually went out of my way to try and find a gas station that was below 225, and I finally did, and then I got more gas. But
How much fuel you waste trying to save a few cents on
well, no,
fuel
because
is
I had
probably
to
hilarious.
drive across town,
Oh, okay.
and so I just kept an
So you're
eye
just
out.
planning on the route. Okay.
Yeah, on the
That
route.
makes
On the
sense.
route, I was trying to find like anywhere that was the cheapest, and then if I drove past it, I could just backtrack the same way.
My
So-
favorite is I was driving my sister home from the U of M the other day, and we were trying to avoid all the highway nastiness that happens after 6 p.m. on a Friday night
when it's snowing.
when it's snowing. Yeah, so
You mean between 3 and 7.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
So we were driving from the U of M to Bloomington, and like I work in St. Louis Park, so I was just like, let's just drive through Uptown. It's gonna be a lot easier. And so we drove past. We stopped at my favorite Caribou to get a very special drink that they only make at that location, because we wanted to avoid traffic.
Dang.
Yeah, and the side roads took us there anyway. It was fine.
Oh, perfect.
And so we drove past the BP Ryan used to work at,
Yep.
across from Lake Calhoun, and it was like $3 a gallon, like over $3.
Yeah,
it was
screw
insane.
that.
Yeah.
It was
No.
insane. And then we drive closer to where France meets Excelsior, and
Okay.
there's another BP right on that, there's another gas station on that corner, and it was a little bit under $3.
Okay.
So it was like $2.90 something.
Two ridiculous prices.
Yeah, and
I don't
so,
think I've even paid that much for premium in the last like 6 months.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then we go by the other BP that that was in association with Ryan's BP in Calhoun, and it was another like 10-15 cents cheaper there. And then we finally get deep into St. Louis Park by like
St. Jewish Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By like 100 in Excelsior,
Okay.
and the gas is finally at like 230 something, and I was like, this is
This is
good.
our station.
I was
Did
like,
it have like a glowing aura around it?
Yeah.
You could see it for like the
Well,
northern lights.
yeah, there's
Yeah, it was white and blue and a big star.
Aurora Borealis.
yeah, it's really weird because those gas stations, there's 3 gas stations there because like they're the closest gas stations to where I work.
Okay.
And so there's a Holiday, and that's usually a little like there's a Holiday and an SA or Speed USA or whatever.
Speedway.
It is.
Esse?
And they always have the same price, but then there's like a tiny gas station just a little bit out of the way, but it's easier to get out of because you don't have to deal with the one-way bullshit.
Sure.
And I always go to like this little gas station. It has worse gas, but it's cheaper. Like
Hey,
Oh,
you're
that's fine.
using 87, so who
I know.
cares?
so
Yeah,
like,
you drive a Sienna. It's like me filling up the FJ. I'm like, I open the gas door on that thing. It says premium fuel. I'm like, Funny joke, Toyota.
Yeah,
You're getting
so-
garbage gas.
I don't think I've ever owned a car that runs on anything but premium. Like everything is required.
Because you own
Well, it's because
weird,
you own
yeah.
cars before NOx sensors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, you also own weird British cars where it's like even if they say they can use 80/70, you better use like the highest quality.
And not only on those British cars, premium, but you have to run the clear, non-oxygenated premium. Otherwise,
Oh,
all
okay.
the fuel
91.
systems just
That's-
implode with rust.
the 91
My
octane.
heart really hurts
Yeah.
for that because like I go to this gas station because it's got free like there's like, I think there's just like this high schooler that hangs out after school there.
It's called loitering.
Yeah, and he'll do like the service for you.
Yeah, it's a full service gas
service.
station.
Oh wow.
It's
But
cheap
it's a-
and full service.
Speaking
It's
of full
awesome.
service, what state? There are several
Oregon.
states that
Oregon.
require full service.
New
It's
Jersey, Oregon.
I thought Oregon got rid of
Maryland, I
Oregon
think?
got rid of it and everybody rioted, and then I think it's Washington.
Yeah.
Because
I
Washington
thought
and
Maryland
Oregon
had
are
it
the
too.
same
Is that
state.
not right?
I don't know, but it was like
don't
three
know.
weirdo
I
states that nobody ever
cannot-
goes to.
Yeah, and I don't know how I'd survive with that because like the Triumph, yeah, it's got this weird ass fuel filler that like you have to hold the nozzle upside down at just the right angle, otherwise the fuel pipe backs up and it burps fuel all over you.
Yeah, not like
Well, that'll be fun to watch. Although you're going to be
I-
paying
I-
for the burps, presumably.
I would totally troll people, and I'd be like, I'd like bring a '57 Bel Air or something,
yeah, it
and
is.
like just
Or
like,
a Fiat 500e.
and then just like not tell them where it is.
Back when Oregon had the full service, there was a Comedians Cars and Coffee where Frank Armstrong and Jerry Seinfeld went to a gas station with an old Saab that you had to mix oil and fuel into. So like,
It's a two-stroke.
Like a, yeah.
Yeah,
so
what's
somebody
the two-stroke?
goes to help them, and Jerry Seinfeld's
Like a
like,
Subsonic. Or before that, even.
it was the same Saab that my great uncle Bill had.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's Saab 98. Yeah,
The ones where you have to put the clutch in when you're going down a hill, otherwise
yes,
they
that
oil
one.
starve.
That
Yeah.
one, yes.
Yep, and so like, somebody comes to help him, and Jerry Seinfeld's like, "Please don't. You're gonna ruin my car. Like this is a loaner." And it was like the most hilarious part of the show was them just trying to fill up the
I
car.
want to see this episode now. I haven't
it's
seen
really
this one.
good.
It's
I
the Fred
love that
Armisen
show.
episode. Oh god, yes. Comedians of Cars and Coffee is prime.
like they go. They make the entire episode about how hipster Portland is, and it's so funny because you're going through Portland
Sounds
with
amazing.
like the guy who created Portlandia.
Yep. Oh
Yeah.
man,
Dream of
that's
the
a weird
90s.
show.
By the way,
Yeah.
speaking of Portlandia, have you guys ever seen the van life skit on Portlandia?
I don't know if I have.
It is
Oh my
the
God.
most accurate description of a Vanagon owner
So
I've ever seen. in
Can
my
I
life.
put
Oh.
a fifth layer tangent on this and
Yes.
say, "Holy hell, we've done like 5 layers of tangents."
Anyway,
I don't even remember. Oh yeah, what do you? Okay,
we're still on. We're
what
still on
else
the
is in
first
your
topic.
garage?
Okay.
We are 2 questions in and 43. So we're just gonna get through the questions basically with you, and then we're good.
Okay, then last one is my daily driver, which is a 2.7T Audi Allroad with the automatic transmission that explodes.
With a perfect front suspension.
Yes,
And
yeah,
air
yeah,
sus-
yeah. Thank
and
you,
air
Ryan.
suspension.
Yeah, we just got done with doing a ton of work on the front of that car. I wanted to make that's I got the good beer for for Richard to make sure that I was taking care of him.
Oh.
But yeah, he had to get just about everything done. So
I'm shocked.
yeah, but no, I mean it's probably the nicest driving all road. But what's actually really
It's an
cool
auto,
about
so it's not right.
what's actually cool about the all road is when you turn it on, you know the little LCD display in between the gauges.
Yeah, yeah.
He's reprogrammed it from whatever the normal thing, the all road logo it comes up with, and now it says insert coin
That's pretty cool.
because he's a computer nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's an ongoing project. I'm eventually want to start pulling diagnostic data and putting like real-time gauges for like boost and stuff
That'd be nifty.
up on there.
Well, the beauty of that era Audi is VAGCOM can do everything.
Well,
You can communicate
exactly.
with every module, no problem. Thing I hate about that is the same year probably as your car, made by the Volkswagen Auto Group. It's got Diablo computers in it, so nothing comms with the Volkswagen computer.
I should note that Burger is pointing at Jen and Jameson's Lamborghini.
Yeah, I was
Murcielago.
pointing at a Murcielago. People should feel bad for me because it's hard to read codes out of. That's what
sorry.
I'm getting at. Anyway, wow, so you own an automatic all-road as your
and
daily.
I take pride in the fact that it still has the air suspension.
It still has air suspension. Everything works in it for the most
answer.
part, actually. It's
Yeah.
shocking.
Shocking. It's like suspension with the shocks.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's funny.
I mean, I figure if you swap it to coilovers, all you've got is an overweight A6 with some plastic stuck on it.
The A6 is already
what it
overweight.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
no,
But it would be a
do.
wagon.
What you have is you have a significantly less reliable A6. You have an A6 with a little bit more weight, so everything mechanical breaks in a little bit faster.
Don't worry, they added 2 turbos to offset that weight slightly.
Yeah, which will break.
Yeah, dentist
Yeah.
drills.
KO3s?
So-
Nah, it's fine.
We've now gotten
Definitely
through.
won't drop the valve.
We've gotten through what you drive.
Yep, we're in 2 questions now.
Now we're into the questions. Before we run out of the show, I'm gonna bump our 2 standard questions open before we get on to the other stuff. Our first question is: do you drive a slow car fast or a fast car slow?
Slow car fast, always.
Of course you do, because
is the
you're
correct answer.
That is the correct answer. You are with everybody else, not alone with Tyler from MNC.
We made him
CNC.
fix his answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one car that I've ever owned it's the one nearly new car I've ever owned, and the one car I've ever owned that could be moderate, even remotely considered fast. I hated and got rid of.
What was
The
it?
all-road?
A 2015 GTI.
Oh, those are awful.
Is that a
yeah.
Mark
I don't blame
VI?
you.
It was first year of the Mark 7.
Mark 7.
Yeah, those are awful.
So-
That was a good decision.
Good call. Getting
So
rid of that.
yeah, the all-road was its replacement,
Yeah, I don't understand.
and it's been more reliable.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
Oh,
two-
yeah, the 270 is a lot better than a TSI.
No, TSIs are garbage.
And 270s just like randomly crap out all the time too, but they take a lot longer to do it than the TSI.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
I had to have the whole steering rack replaced on that under warranty.
Shocking.
Wow.
I don't understand how that car gets such good reviews.
Well, I mean, it's pretty inexpensive to buy brand new, and it's a German car. I mean, the interior is nice
Yeah.
when it's new. I get it.
I bet that interior is not going to hold up.
No, it won't. It's a
like-
hold up just
oh,
like
It's
just
gonna hold
like
up like a Mark III Volkswagen's body in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's
no,
how it's gonna hold
it's
up.
gonna hold up
Yeah.
the exact same way that the new Beetle interior is held up. If you get into a new Beetle from like 1999, they are awful.
Well, it's because they used paper instead of leather.
Well, not only that, but I mean, like you got the all the black bits on the dashboard and like the door handles and stuff become this mysterious sticky, oily material.
Oh, so it's like a Ferrari.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I hate that sticky stuff.
The steering wheels sweat out vinyl when they get old and they begin to break down, and you just get vinyl all over your hands.
That sounds awful.
It's just a disgusting, disgusting
my
thing.
touch points, I don't want to be touching anything sticky.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
like being
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
public restroom at a sports facility.
Trust
like
me.
I don't want to drive your old exotic car, okay?
I just got through. We have got a 2001 Beetle. It's like 200 trillion miles on
TDI?
it. No, it's a 18T. It's actually
Damn.
for the amount of miles it has on it, it's like phenomenal. But yeah, I just went through all the touch points and got rid of all the grossness on it, and it took me like a half a can of brake cleaner, because that's the only way to clean it correctly. To
I
like
use
get
Easy
that
Off
crap
oven
off.
cleaner, but I gotta do it on the
I
Ferrari crap.
take a clean
the-
oil rag, brake cleaner, and that'll get all that stuff right off.
The only problem is Volkswagen was smart here where they put black plastic underneath it.
Yeah.
Ferrari, it's like white or translucent plastic.
Ah!
So
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
clean just the sticky off and not get into the actual color pigment. Yeah,
God, that's
let me
awful.
tell you, that's a bundle of fun, buddy.
Yeah, no, I just took all that stuff off and went straight to black plastic on
Perfect.
every single touch point.
Perfect replacement for it.
Yeah.
Guess what it is? Plastic dip.
Yeah, shocking.
Matches the Ferrari interior stuff perfectly.
That's hilarious.
I love plastic dipping Ferraris. It's great.
So, yeah, you got the first question correct. Now, this next one,
This one's a big one.
this is a big one. We call it the Mondial Dilemma. Berger was
About a year ago today.
about a year ago today was sent a Ferrari Mondial, the 2+2 Ferrari 308.
Oh, yeah.
Hard top.
Hard top.
Speedline wheels, baby
Speedline-
blue, black interior.
Yep, it was a Quattro Valvole or whatever it was. But
A84.
no engine. Somebody had obviously
transmission.
used it as a donor for a
The
308.
308.
That's worth more money. So obviously, you're not going to put that original engine transmission in. It is transverse, so you can't put in like LS or
Porsche
something.
or something.
Yeah, you can't do that. And so you're kind of stuck with this car. It's got a beautiful body on it.
Objectively beautiful.
No engine at all.
Or
transmission. What do you put into it? It has 240 horsepower from the factory, so totally attainable amount of power, and it's not reliable, so you don't have to worry about reliability.
It did have Magneti Marelli mechanical injection.
Which, as we all know, Magneti Marelli and Lucas were in a fight to the death to see who can make a worse electrical system.
Race to the bottom.
My parents back home have an early 2000s Alpha.
Oh.
And so, yeah, I've
yeah,
experienced
you
this.
understand that. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're not trying to win any awards for reliability. So, like, with my choice, when we first started doing this, I said a carbureted 12A rotary with a really aggressive port on it and a Holley carburetor on it, like a Holley 650 on it.
And an AE101 transaxle with a commercially available adapter plate.
And that will become transverse because thank God for Puerto Rico.
Full circle.
There is somebody that makes an adapter plate that will adapt a rotary engine to a early 90s Corolla transmission, which is like the most beautiful thing in the world. Because you can now swap this into any car in the world, and
that includes an engineless
Mondial. And it is like the most common transmission, which is perfect. So
and they never ever break.
Yeah, it's a hydraulic transmission, so you don't have to worry about some weird cable setup or anything. You just gotta run a hydraulic line.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful, and it's the shift linkage and everything's very common. It's great.
Cable shifter, super easy.
It's just super easy.
It's funny. I never even thought about this until just now. We both picked 5-speed Toyota transmissions.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're just perfect. So with that,
he picked the rotary with the AE101. I picked a later 3.3 Toyota Sienna V6 on the early Camry Solara 3-liter 5-speed transaxle. And then also the early 3-liter Camry V6 TRD supercharger. So about 400 horsepower, turnkey reliable, pretty efficient, bolts right in.
Reliability's bullshit.
Well,
I'm going to
also,
go out and say that right
reliability doesn't matter because you're a British car
clearly
enthusiast.
with the stuff you own, that's true.
You're a British car enthusiast, and this is a car that has Magneti Marelli ignition, so don't worry about reliability. What would you put into that? What would you swap into a engineless Mondial?
I think this answer is going to be amazing.
It would be a tough choice. I mean, the basic bitch answer I would give would be Alpha V6.
That's already been done.
Yeah.
Wait. Who did Alpha V6? Was that Bellis?
I don't know who did it, but somebody said Alpha 32 V6.
Oh yeah. I mean, who can't say no to that?
It's a beautiful engine.
Yeah,
we just talked about.
I mean, even if it's not running, just looking at that thing, I'd be happy.
It's exactly what I said before.
It's just like
it's
the car.
It's like that beautiful fuel injection on the Triumphs. Like it's meant to be looked at because you will be a lot.
But the weird ass answer I'm going to give is
this is what we like.
Yeah, I like this one. This is already better.
The Peugeot Citroën XU9 J4.
And what is that out of?
That is out of the either the Citroën BX 16 valve or the Peugeot 405 MI16.
Those are both awesome cars.
It would be a bit down on power, but I know for a fact that these things can be tuned to hell because a buddy of mine's got a 205 GTI.
Oh, 205 GTI engine
that he's built with one.
Yeah,
it's an evolution of that. It's a derivative of, I believe, what they put in the 205 T16.
Okay. Oh, that'd be very cool.
But
that's probably the best answer we've had thus far.
Yeah.
So the 1.9 or something?
Yeah,
else?
the 1.9 16 valve. It weighs nothing.
I mean, it's a terrible answer, but I really like it.
Yeah, it wouldn't actually be good in the car, but I adore that engine. Any excuse to put
I think that's my favorite answer.
Yeah.
No, not me. But I appreciate the answer for being completely completely original. Sorry.
Yeah, that is an entirely original answer. Yeah, because normally most people are like, yeah, I'll just put a J Series V6 into it. It's like,
yeah,
that's cool.
It's used on the Citroen BX, the Peugeot 405, and the Peugeot 309.
So,
yep.
Wow,
that
those
actually
are all forgettable cars.
The BX 16 valve is not. I've driven one of those.
Oh, BX 16.
And that was their high performance version, and it is essentially a hot hatch that can fit 5 adults and luggage comfortably.
And it looks like a Citroen.
Yeah, it weighs less than a ton.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow, that's a weird looking car.
Yeah, and
why don't you put it on the screen
Citroen
for everyone?
BX.
Yeah. So look up the 16 valve version especially because that's the really good one. And it's got an 80s tastic body kit.
6 valve.
It's got
16 valve.
skirted rear fenders on it, so
Yeah, there's
if you select 16 valve, you got 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You wrote down 6 valve.
Yeah.
It's got a terrible keyboard. Get off my back. Also, this is the right car anyway. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
true,
the right
true.
car. So we actually follow the same guy on Instagram, that Citroen CX _guy.
Yeah.
That guy's got one of these 16 valves. And
Did
he just
somebody
takes
really put BBS RXs on this thing?
It's that
That looks really good,
What
actually.
a horrible car.
I really like that. I think that looks just perfect. I would change the wheels though. I put turbo fans on it. SSR turbo fans.
Okay, if you look up the original wheels for those, because the factory alloys for that are absurd, and I adore them.
Yeah, I saw them on the Wikipedia page.
Oh, look at those!
That looks like the stupid Civic SI or the.
Hey, I love those.
CRX.
CRX buttons are my favorites.
Yep,
Yeah, I know
yep.
they are.
Yeah, they're like.
That looks gawpingly awful.
It is not a pretty car, I will say that.
That's true. It is
But
not.
Look at the wheels, though, honey.
I like the 405 more.
yeah, that's a nicer
I
looking.
actually really like
With
that car
catalyst?
a lot.
Oh, screw that. Like, without cat, you get 158 horsepower. With cat, it's only 145.
And it's a ridiculously revvy, peaky engine.
Good.
My parents have a BX 16 valve, and it's got 200 and some odd thousand miles on it. Engine's never been opened. Still runs sweet as a nut.
That's perfect.
And it's got the crazy hydraulic suspension. That,
Oh, I love the hydrodynamic suspension.
yeah, it's magic.
So really what this is it's basically a DS with a 205 power
Yeah,
plant.
closer to an XM, but yeah.
Yeah. It's that was contemporary with the XM.
Okay, so it's an XM with the
A 205 GTI 16 valve, which they didn't do as far as I understand, engine in it.
That
Could you put this engine in a 205 GTI then?
Yeah, a friend of mine has built a rally car.
Could you put
With
this in
that.
a 1.6 car? Would the transmission work, do you think?
Yeah, I believe. I think the guy I know just took the. I think the transaxle's all the same. It's like old Volkswagens.
I mean, they're both-
Peugeots are Lego.
They're both XU9 engines,
Yeah.
so I would assume the block is
Yeah.
similar enough.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause I've been trying to convince my brother to import a 1.6 GTI
Yeah.
for a while, but
Yeah.
like if I could find one of these 16 valve 1.9 engines.
Yeah, basically every single BX 16 valve or MI16 has been turned into an engine donor for a 205.
Good,
They are almost impossible to find.
good.
Yeah, you have to
Are
do
your parents selling their car?
you have to do a bit of fabrication because
That's
it's got-
fine. I know
it's-
these people.
Yeah, it's
I
got
would just
factory
keep the
tubular
car.
headers.
That's so cool. But
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I would honestly just keep the car as it is because I
Ryan,
actually-
that just looks like your personality on the screen right here.
no,
It
it reminds me of like one of the cars from the background of Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like I really like that. Like
Break
between-
out the laser disc.
between
player.
that
Oh,
movie.
sweet.
Oh yeah, we do Lasers movie night. You're invited.
Oh my god, yes.
Every Thursday, we've been doing it for a year and a half.
I've got the Star Wars original trilogy box set where Han shot first. Good stuff.
But that's
Along with
perfect.
a bunch
by
of
the way.
other discs I've ashamedly spent way more on than I should.
But the
Bigger, longer, and uncut is downstairs right now. I spent $275
We still have to get
on that
Mulan,
disc.
so you'll
My
watch
God.
that.
Yeah, that sounds expensive.
Yeah. but,
Fight
you
Club
know.
is $250, and I'm still kind of waffling.
But yeah, so this car it looks like crossing Total Recall and Blade Runner put
I
together.
hear a train.
There's a train. Yay, trains.
Oh, it's not the retro train, though.
Jana loves
But it
trains.
is a passenger train, so I'm excited.
Yes.
It's already gone.
Specific.
But anyway,
Shortest train I've ever seen.
it
here,
was
by
just
the way.
4 engines. That's all it was. It was
Sports train.
a sports train. Yeah. And I
Hope it
think
doesn't have turbo
it
failure.
looked like they were all going at full chooch as well. It's just like hauling.
I don't think that was full chooch. Those things can do like 80, 85.
It was going pretty quick.
I wasn't going that
It
fast.
wasn't going.
All right, we got another question.
All right, I'll let you answer or ask this one.
So, picture yourself booked a vacation, California. You look at rental car prices. That's ridiculous. I'm going to buy a car on Craigslist and use it for a week and a half and then drive it back home to Minnesota and sell it for a profit. With that, what do you buy? So you have to drive it to every destination, every sightseeing thing. Picture 400 to 800 miles in California. Then you have to drive it back home reliably to Minnesota and sell it for a profit. Then we'll attach a budget of like
Well, actually,
$3,500 to it.
maybe the term reliably is
Well,
questionable.
make
You have
it.
to sell it for a profit.
You have to make it home, whether or not it's partially on a flatbed or you got to do some work in an auto parts parking lot, whatever. Fine.
You have to make it home, and then you have to not be late for work after your allotted vacation time.
Yeah.
Right. I have considered doing this for real plenty of times, so
My friend Trig Brolander actually did that for real.
But he did Colorado,
Yeah,
which is half the distance.
We were at my friend Andrew Chase's house, and he goes to the restroom, excuses himself afterwards, and then just leaves. And then we don't see him the next day. We're like, he must have an upset stomach or something. He's supposed to come to his car show with us because we're at the Car Queen show. Comes towards the end of the show with this mysterious, like, 76 or something Mercedes 240 turbo diesel, 78 240 turbo diesel.
They never made the 240 and TD. The turbo didn't start until 82. So
This is a turbo diesel. Oh, so it must be at 82 or 83 then.
82 to 85.
Yeah, so it must be like 83 or something.
It's got to also be a 300.
I remember, yeah, it is a 300. You're right. So it's a 300D turbo diesel.
My brain is full of garbage.
All I remember about it is that it's a turbo diesel Mercedes. It's prosthetic lim tan, and the year of it is an odd number.
Probably an 83 then. 85 is
has-
a really uncommon.
It has to be an 83 then.
83.
So anyway, he comes up with it. It's flawless.
And it is hearing aid beige. This
Yeah,
guy.
it looks
yeah.
like a prosthetic. It looks just like a prosthetic limb.
Richard's like, "Ugh."
But basically, I
moment.
guess what he did was he went to the bathroom. He was browsing through Craigslist in Colorado just because. And, that's something you
As one
actually
does,
do.
yeah. Oh,
It's honestly something you do when you're in the bathroom. It's a totally fair thing to do. But I guess
He doesn't
when
even
he
have
was,
an iPad.
when he was, he was like on his flip phone then. He calls up the owner. He goes, "Do you still have it?" The guy goes, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, I'm going to go hop on a plane. I'll be there in a few hours." And he, sight unseen, hops on an airplane, or goes to a bank in Colorado, gets some money for it, gets the car and drives it back within 24 hours. And then first thing he does is takes it to a car show. At this point, he's been up for like 36 hours.
that was basically how I mean, shorter distance because New Zealand, but that was basically how I acquired my Rover SD1.
Very fine.
Drove across the country and then...
Fly and drive.
But what would you do if you were in that situation? What car would be your, like,
Yeah, what's-
I want this, this is my time to buy it?
Not necessarily even that.
This
You
is-
don't have to like it. You
Yeah,
just
it's
have to
true.
it has to be something that it either rusted away in Minnesota
Yep.
or something that's just undervalued out there that is overvalued here.
Yes, that's
So, I
true.
mean, that is something you have to factor in because you can't just buy something that's reliable out there and then just bring it home and lose money. That's not part of the question.
Right.
We have given this some thought.
Yeah. Could well be a Range Rover Classic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or,
I mean, you'll probably make it home, maybe.
Yeah. I
three-
was
Did
just
they sell 3.5s here or were they all 3.9s?
think they were 3.9s.
So all of them are injection.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, Lucas. Though it's essentially just Bosch LJ-tronic with a Lucas badge on it.
I should
that's
I
true.
should say that my Uncle Ralph, who is like 95, he has been daily driving a 78 Range Rover.
They're aluminum body.
He's been daily driving his in Carmel, California for like the last 40 years.
Yeah, I mean they seem pretty reliable. I don't know
Yeah,
what those
yeah.
things have for
I mean,
transmissions, but I mean they seem.
I think it's a GM something.
It's got to be a turbo hydromatic.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, that's probably actually a decent answer.
That's-
I mean
it's-
the engine that
it's a
Buick
finisher
3.9
car.
is
Everything
pretty
else
good.
will break, but
It's a finisher car.
Oh,
It's
nothing
gonna
in
be
the
worth
interior
money.
will work. I remember
Yeah,
the Bolivia special where Jeremy
Yes.
bought the worst 3.5 carby one ever, and like none of the gauges worked, and it was like, oh, kept going though.
yeah.
Okay, that's actually a pretty good answer. I don't know how undervalued those are out there, but
Well, that's the thing is,
when can you get one for $3,500?
I don't think that it's undervalued out there. I think it's that they just don't exist up here.
They
Yeah.
do though. They're aluminum body. They didn't rust away.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no,
with a
that's-
steel frame.
Yeah,
that's true.
the
but
frames-
even
the
still,
frames
they seem
fall
to
apart.
last pretty well.
Yeah, but this is the thing. In Minnesota, if you actually look for one, like you can't really,
Yeah.
you can find the later model ones.
But see, the thing
But
is,
the
the
early ones,
and
you
what-
can't.
the
Yeah.
injection broke, so they didn't get any miles. So like, there's a lot of fairly clean ones up here with not
Which are
running.
The thing
great
is-
parts cars.
yeah.
And what this could be is
The way that-
really
yeah,
good. This could
Oh,
be
yeah.
just a really good chassis for that, and then
Yeah.
put the body on it.
The way they rot, they look fine from the outside, but then like they've completely lost all structural integrity and will just like
As
collapse.
if they had any to begin with.
Well, what
Yeah.
the little they had, they won't be able to hold
Yeah,
up
yeah.
their weight now.
Sure.
But yeah, I almost did basically that with the Triumph 2000 when it it arrived off the boat in Long Beach, and I was going to fly out and drive it home. But I'm very glad I didn't. Both
You would have known of every single repair shop between
yeah.
here and Long Beach. You could like plot a map.
Yep.
oh yeah,
It'd be like a Michelin. It'd be like the Michelin star
You'd
for
need-
like repair shops.
30 aliases, all with paid AAA memberships to make it home.
yeah, no, well, yeah. Then like, I got it here and had it trucked over here instead, and then like about a couple of 100 miles in, I had a wheel bearing like seize up with no warning, like.
Just stop moving.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love British cars. Oh,
yeah,
boy,
yeah.
they're so great.
Yeah, it was. I kept the stub axle because the bearing race is just spin welded onto the stub axle.
Was it not making noise beforehand? It
No,
just...
it was completely silent. And then it went from I'd better check those wheel bearings to like seizing up and having me swerve off into a ditch within the space of about a mile.
Oh my God.
Well, now you know.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
ever hear
yeah.
any bearing noise, immediately pull over and have
I
it
mean,
replaced.
The problem was that whoever did those bearings last, must have tightened them up with a breaker bar.
Oh.
They were, they're supposed to essentially just be hand tight, but
Yeah.
they were
Are they
criminally
like
tight.
castle nuts where you just torque them
Yeah.
down a little bit and back it off, and then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good to go? So they're like trailer bearings then, where it's
Yeah,
just...
they are. It is
Okay,
exactly
yeah.
like, yeah. And
So
Just like my Mercedes.
I guess our little lesson here is that the Triumph 2000, if you have one and you're driving it at any great
Stay
distance,
close to home.
No, just have a infrared thermometer with you,
yeah.
and every time you get gas, shine it at all the wheels.
Well,
Yeah,
then,
okay, that's fair.
If one wheel's 100 degrees hotter, stop moving.
yeah, just like a trailer.
Like right now, it's just quit.
Yeah, it's a lot like a trailer.
Yeah, then the other thing that I had a bunch of spares packed in the car when I had it shipped, and so when I drove it off to my storage unit to drop those off, I realized that with a spare cylinder head, spare gearbox, spare differential, and a whole lot of other stuff loaded in the back, most of the weight behind the rear axle, it makes that semi-trailing arm suspension very
Questionable.
yeah, I would say unpredictable. It was kind of like trying to drive a pendulum.
Okay.
It's like trying to drive. How did your parents not die?
Driving a
towing
grandfather
boat?
clock that's been pushed over. I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. I'm keeping the tow hitch just because it's fun to have it.
Tow
but
bars are amazing.
yeah,
Every car needs one.
So,
I'm never
like-
going to tow anything with it.
So, well, the thing is, like,
Disappointed in you.
New Zealand is not like. Well, so you have to understand, Berger. He tows cut up E30s with a Fiat 500.
I like this. I would tow with it, except for the fact that also, like, I looked at how the tow hitch is attached,
It's very
and
questionable.
it's basically not attached.
Then get a better custom one with US size hitch balls on it.
So, all right. Well,
we go.
so my question is, how did your parents ever survive? Because New Zealand's not like it's not like the Midwest where we don't have geographical changes. New Zealand is a very beautiful country
have geographic-
where you have hills and mountains. And
Yeah, I've seen Lord of the Rings.
Curvy
Yeah,
roads.
yeah.
It is literally what the Shire looks like.
Yeah.
And how did they not die with towing something behind that pendulum?
Yeah, like okay, so you have your pendulum loaded up, presumably with like offspring and
Yeah,
things, and you
yeah.
have a boat behind it,
Yeah.
obviously exacerbating this.
Yeah.
How did they get through any corners?
How
without-
are you still here?
I honestly have no idea, because also my grandfather was a very spirited driver. If that car had
So he drove like a Yabo
yeah,
as well.
if that car
Maybe it had bias ply tires on it, so it
Yeah,
was a little
yeah.
more solid.
yeah, if that car had any like loss of power at high revs, he would take that thing straight back to the mechanic and say, fix the damn thing. Like, he was very yeah, he
well,
made
that's the way you have to
The
drive
engine's
it.
well broken in then.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I beat on that thing all the time.
Good, that's probably why it works.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, then he died in the early 2000s, and then my grandmother drove it for until she gave up driving, and that was where the problem was, that she was into overdrive fourth as soon as possible, puttering around at 30 miles an hour,
I see.
And,
yeah, lugging an old
Does overdrive
carbureted
work?
tiny displacement 6-cylinder doesn't seem like a great idea.
No. It's, a good bit of Italian tune-up helped with that. but,
Excellent.
Does the overdrive still work?
yeah, sort of. The
That's
overdrive,
amazing.
yeah, the
that it
overdrive
works
switch.
ever.
The overdrive switch, I'm told, has been touchy since new,
Yeah.
and so there's a bit of a knack into getting it into overdrive.
Okay.
But yeah, it works, and it's great. I mean, it'll.
It's amazing.
It'll cruise all day, 80 miles an hour.
I don't think anybody. I think you might be one of the only people in the 21st century to have experienced a Triumph with the overdrive.
I remember when Hammond bought his Dolomite
his
Sprint with
Dolomite.
the switch, fully functional overdrive. Nothing.
Yeah,
Also-
mine's cooler than that because it's on the column, so you got 4 on the floor and then essentially 2 on the tree as well.
Perfect. That's great. I love it.
I am so perplexed by that.
I ever since I watched the episode in like 10th grade,
But
I've-
I was truthfully probably that long
Yeah,
ago.
I
jeez.
really want. I've wanted a Triumph Dolomite Sprint.
No,
Oh,
be
me
honest.
too.
You want an Austin Princess.
No, I want the
Yes,
I want a Dolomite Sprint.
Austin
Sprint.
Princess with the transverse straight 6.
So that would be cool. But
I changed my answer for the Mondial Dilemma. Not really.
Austin
Screw that
Princess
engine. That's cool though. I did not know it was a transverse. it makes
didn't-
sense.
What was the other one? There was another one. There's a 4-door.
Volvo?
No. It was in our Triumph or BL something or other that had a transverse inline 6.
There was the Austin 2200, which
think
was
that was it, yeah.
which was. I mean, they
It was
used
sold
the,
in Australia,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, It was essentially the 1800 Land Crab with a straight 6.
What a great name.
Yeah.
The land crab.
Well, it was the nickname because it was like weirdly wide for like
for what it was. Yeah.
And I'm guessing, I haven't actually seen the engine bay of one of these things, but I'm guessing it was a really short bell housing with a chain, and then the converter and the transmission were actually off to the side of it.
This used the British Leyland gears in the sump.
Oh, so
Yeah.
like an early Saab 900 or something like that, but changed the other way around.
Not quite. This was like, I mean, they used this in the Mini. The gearbox was actually in the oil pan rather than a separate. But
it was in the
It-
Saab.
oh,
too.
like a
Sorry, I thought-
motorcycle.
Yeah,
like a
I thought
motorcycle.
I thought the Saab it was still a separate unit. But yeah, the gearbox is in the oil pan.
Yeah, no, we actually ran on the engine oil and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it was
That
early
was
Saabs.
much
Like
more
the
common back
two-stroke
in the day.
98s. Yeah.
They even
No, it was the early 900s. They were
Yeah.
4-stroke engines. The early 8-valve and even the 16-valve, like the turbos, those all
Yeah.
ran engine oil in the gearbox.
Yeah. British
the bottom.
Leyland did even better though. They made an automatic that used that setup.
That sounds awful.
That ran on engine oil?
Yeah. You had like a change interval of I think like 2,000 miles.
I was going to say, that would contaminate awfully quickly.
Yeah.
And engine oil is a little thick for an automatic transmission, so...
I don't know how they did it. I'm assuming
Poorly.
Yeah, dark magic. But it was a 4-speed automatic in the 70s. I thought that's not bad.
That sounds awful.
Yeah,
That sounds like
Mercedes
even
did
more
that too,
things
but
to
probably
break.
reliably.
All right, so with British cars and everything British, my motto is just the simpler the better. Give me a single carburetor. Give me as few gears as in the manual transmission that's separate from the engine as possible. And I want as few cylinders as possible, so I have less likelihood
Better
of
yet,
bearing
a
failure.
couple of torpedo Doritos.
Just give me.
Where's
just,
your sense of fun?
my sense of fun that comes from Japanese cars and trying to find one single part that has nothing to do with the car actually driving that is keeping the car from driving.
Yeah.
You would get along famously with Lucas-branded mechanical injection.
Yeah, I probably would actually. Yeah, because it's like right now the Cressida doesn't really drive.
EFI, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't drive because of the speedometer, and it can't read the vehicle speed.
I do love VSS.
Yeah, and the vehicle speed sensor can't read or can't communicate with the transmission control unit, so it never shifts out first gear.
Ooh.
That's fun.
Ooh.
It's a lot of fun up to about 25 miles per hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the rev limiter happens.
Yeah, and then the rev limiter happens like shortly thereafter.
Oh.
So, oh, right. So you would do a Range Rover for your car from California.
I'm
Now-
actually okay with that answer. I think
That's
it
actually, I
would-
think, probably the best
you would
answer.
spend all your profit in
Finisher
fuel
car.
coming home, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a finisher car, as Jana said. It's definitely a finisher car.
sorry, I had your mic turned down, Jana.
Now,
There's too much typing. I had to.
let's go with what are your favorite events and shows in Minnesota? because you're a car enthusiast that goes out to things from time to time. And
Not as many as I should, but
No, well, when I first met you, you were going to the Sonic meets down in Bloomington.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was, God, it was years ago now. Feels like just last year. But what's like your favorite show to go to nowadays, now that show's closed down?
God, it would have to be the big Intermark show up in Osseo.
Oh, that's a great show.
That
I've been
just-
meaning to go to that, and every
Yep.
time I see it, I see pictures. They do the worst job communicating. It's like every time I find out, it's like the day after.
That's the whole thing with the classic car scene. Just really doesn't seem to communicate. Either I don't know if this is intentional or just by not knowing the right people, but it really doesn't seem to interact much with the rest of the.
Well, when I was with
crowd.
MNCC, we were trying to get Intermark on board, and they seemed like they were really on board
Yeah.
with it. It's just like, it's honestly, it's a bunch of older people that don't know Facebook that well.
Yeah,
And so they can't communicate.
Yeah, but yeah, gosh, this Osseo show is just.
It's phenomenal.
Incredible.
It's Deschevaux and British cars and like all the stuff that you're into.
Yeah, I mean, and you see stuff there that you would absolutely never see like
Anywhere else. Yeah, 'cause-
and the people you meet as well. Like I got talking to a guy with an immaculately restored Citroen SM.
Oh, what colors was it? The beige one?
They're all beige, it seems.
There were shades of beige. Was it the greenish beige or the goldish beige?
Fifty Shades of Beige.
Goldish, I believe.
Yep,
But,
I know the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but this
Harold?
guy.
Well, I think it might actually be Harold. Yeah.
I can't remember. This guy just had it restored down in California and drove it home. And
Did it have the resin wheels on it?
yeah.
That's Harold's chef.
Yeah, he got one of those out from the trunk and just kind of tossed it in the air and caught it again. Just demo how light those things are.
I wouldn't do that because they're like $7,000 a piece.
I know, and his were new old stock.
Yep, this is definitely Harold. He's one of my best buds.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was like people like that.
He's saying his favorite show is the Intermark show.
I haven't been to that.
The RCO one, yeah.
Well, yeah, we were just talking about that. They do not communicate because everybody that runs it is like 75 years old and doesn't know how to use Facebook.
I know, but like I got for the first time ever. I got the invite for that this year, and I had a conflict, so I didn't go. But like it looked fabulous.
Yeah. And there was this other guy, like with the Rolls Royce Club. So amongst all the Rolls Royces, there was
Horrible club.
there was a kind of beat up yellow Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
And like I ended up talking to the owner, and yeah, I mean he's got like a number of vintage Rolls Royces,
And none of them were working, so he brought the Beetle.
No, he says that he brings the Beetle every once in a while and parks it with the Rolls Royces just to keep the rest of the club humble.
See, the one and only time I took my F355 to a car show was here back when Cars and Coffee was
Oh, that
here.
was hilarious.
And I parked it in the BMW section because I know all the people that run the show. I'm like, can I not park in the exotics? Because
Yeah,
screw all those people.
yeah.
So I parked with my homies. It was great. But like,
Well,
coming and going from the show
As to
was
say
terrible.
that, then you had 500 comments of, "Is that your dad's car?"
Yeah,
and I never brought it back to another show.
yeah.
And now I have a
On the
Motorplex
same
unit,
day,
so
wasn't
Keeps you humble.
well played.
I remember going to lunch after the Cars and Coffee event, and you were telling us about is this your dad's car? But you also got stopped in a neighborhood going below the speed limit.
Yep, that was right over here in the neighborhood. It
Yeah.
was 27, and it was a lady yelling at me, and I stopped the car and yelled back at her.
Yeah, because you're going too fast, like 20 miles an hour in a Ferrari.
3 under, just because I was in
You good?
Your
second
dad's car.
gear. No, it's because I was in a bright red Ferrari on a beautiful day. Anyway, I hate people.
Yeah. Likewise.
So Intermark's your favorite show,
I would say so.
right?
That's fair.
Bird, do you want to have the next question for Richard?
Is it not the philanthropy thing? Do I miss something here?
No, we've not done. Is that everything? No. I want to go through. Actually, let's go through your previous cars because that's going to be a very interesting list. And then I'm going to talk about the little bit of philanthropy that we did here just last night.
All right. Well, I'll try to be quick.
Oh no! Take your time. You have plenty to say.
We have a range we work with. Don't worry about it.
It's somewhere between 45 minutes an hour and 45 minutes,
Right,
and we're
right.
in between there.
Yep.
Yeah. So first car was Rover SD1. It was.
So amazing.
Yeah, it was.
So
Was it a 5-speed?
Can we
No,
stop for a second
no.
and just mention that your first car is a Rover SD1? the reliability of every single car you've had afterwards has now made sense.
Yeah,
This is what you're basing it
it's
on.
The
improvement.
threshold of pain you're willing to
Yeah.
endure
Oh, yeah.
was set right there with the
I
SD1.
mean, yeah, so I mean, I bought this car sight unseen.
How'd that go for you?
Like in hindsight, it could have been a complete disaster. I actually, honestly, think it worked out great. I mean, the car was a 50-footer. It had a bit of rot. It had
Whatever, you're
Yeah,
a teenager
yeah,
with the SD1. Like,
exactly,
that-
exactly.
Making Rover V8 noises?
That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. You were the coolest kid in the high school.
Yeah, it had moss growing in the carpets.
Perfect.
Yeah, blue shag pile carpets, by the way.
Fine.
Perfect.
Greenish bluish now,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Did you have plants growing behind your flip-up headlights that are no longer operational? Because I did on my Supra.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it had major electrical issues. I drove,
Yeah, just like my Supra.
Oh yeah, I was like driving it home. Like the audio from the stereo started getting really distorted.
The fact that it worked at all is amazing to me.
Well, that was aftermarket.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I fiddled with the volume control, and the stereo faceplate was too hot to touch.
Yikes.
Yeah, and so I mean, I pulled the fuse on that very quickly. Then a bit later on, it started raining, so I turned the wipers on and found out that if I set the wipers to intermittent, smoke would come out of the steering column.
The British Leyland episode that Top Gear did was not a setup.
Oh yeah,
Not a setup.
Honest to God, I had the door card staying in the door opening incident happen.
Yes!
Like legitimate.
I did too. I did that with my Subaru.
Yeah, but, okay.
I had to help him out.
Yeah, admittedly, this was part
As
of
that happened with Mercedes M-Class.
Yeah, admittedly, part of this was because I had to take those door cards
happened to me
off so
twice,
frequently
actually.
because
Sure.
the power window relays were in there, and
So
so
relays were in the door?
yeah, and so every once in a while, like one of the relays would crap out, and I'd like borrow a relay from the gigantic relay panel behind the glove box, so I could get the window shut.
See, on a BMW E30, I had to stick the little plastic cap off. I went to the toolkit in the trunk, and I wound the window up. And that was
Yeah.
inconvenient,
Yeah.
but fine.
It also had a power sunroof, with the motor for which was in the trunk, with like a
Perfect.
cable drive running up one of the rear pillars.
Why would you ever do that? How does that make sense?
Yeah, the instruments were intermittent. I mean,
that's just a factory thing.
Yeah, you'd thump on the top of the dashboard and you'd get enough of them working to know what's going on.
I kind of still want one of these, even with all these problems.
It's like me with my Subaru. I totally
Yeah.
get it. I still have this like inordinate love for the E82
I assume they've all been
GL.
pretty well sorted by now
Yeah.
if they're in halfway reasonable condition.
Yeah, I mean, I did sort this one. Like, I paid a small fortune to get the rust dealt with. Fixed all the electrical issues myself.
Should have saved it. Should have kept it.
Oh, well, this was the ridiculous thing. The reason I sold it was that I had an absolutely hellish commute at the time, and it is not an economical vehicle, and fuel in New Zealand is not cheap.
Like
Interesting.
$7 a gallon or something
Yeah, yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
And so I mean, it was getting too expensive to keep, especially on, I dropped out of college at the time and was working a dead-end minimum wage job.
Great.
So so I sold that, and
And then you bought a Nissan Micra.
oh no, my sensible, reliable, economical car was a Citroen Xantia.
I actually know what that is, and oh my, I pity you.
Can we put a picture of that for
It was-
people on Twitch?
Yeah, it was lovely, actually. Like, honestly, that is if I could choose one car to get back, it would be that one.
Oh, there it is, right there. Xantia. It's just the next one down.
And it was it had the hydraulic suspension.
I'm sure it was comfortable, but
2-liter 4-cylinder, 5-speed.
it's just such a boring looking
It didn't look particularly exciting, but I mean, it was. I mean,
It-
I roadied for my brother's band
So
at the
you
time.
have to understand, in America,
Yeah.
that car would break necks just because this is a Citroen.
Yeah, but yeah,
It's actually a white screen, as it turns out, so I'm going to try
yeah,
again.
really? Yeah,
Thank you,
it's-
Bing.
Yeah, there we go. Mine was a really nice metallic red, so it actually did kind of stand out.
Well, in the case of this, I'm going to say it's beige.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I figured.
that is a
one,
beige.
one second. You
in
know,
many ways.
I figured out where you got that from. Because the front end looks a lot like a modernized version of a SD1.
That's true. The other thing is, it was I think Pininfarina design,
It shows.
and there was a Daewoo that came out like around the same time, and he just recycled that design on the Daewoo.
Yes.
And
Perfect.
but the thing is with that, it was not a sports car, but the transverse engine Citroens, like they canted the engine way back toward the firewall.
Yeah.
So I mean, you couldn't take the head off with the engine in place, but your center of mass was behind the front axle. So
That's great.
it actually handled really quite nicely.
Oh, it sounds like
I mean,
a
we
great-
love French cars here on this episode, so I really can't fault you too much.
Yeah.
But you also got rid of an SD1 to do this.
Yeah, that may not have been the wisest move.
No, it probably was actually, but it's not the coolest move.
Yeah,
certainly.
this is true. This is true. If it was the like V6 Activa version, then maybe.
That sounds like a rare car.
Wasn't
Oh,
that
yeah.
the one? I feel like they did like a Xantia that was either a touring car or a WRC car.
Yeah, the Activa is the one that I believe still holds the record for the Moose test.
Yeah, that was it. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, this is a bit of a tangent. What was that car? Was it a Maserati or was it a Citroen, or it had the Ferrari-built V8 in it?
Oh, there's a
it was still-
Lancia.
A Lancia?
Yeah, there's a transverse Ferrari V8.
I know that
yeah.
would be impossible to get here, and they're probably worth too much, but I would love to own one of
I mean,
those.
yeah, that's essentially a Saab 9000.
So what was that called?
Lancia Thema 832.
Yeah, that was a theme.
How early were those made?
90s?
Can I import
Late
one?
80s? I
Yeah,
think
probably.
You can. You're like,
I wonder how much that cost. I would love to have
Yeah.
a.
And it's that same the same platform sharing that you had the Saab 9000, the Alpha
I remember
156, the Thema.
93
Again,
plus
harking-
could be imported.
Harking back
Mm.
to it's 94 now, almost in a couple of days, 94. Where he had a Saab and he had some sort of rebadged Alfa Romeo, and he joined them together because the floor pans are the same.
The people put the 832 engine in Saab 9000s.
That is ridiculous.
Correct.
Yeah, I want that.
that was the
can be
first car with the
pulled over.
active spoiler, actually.
I thought the
Look at that. That's where our
Yes.
Mondial Dilemma engine went, right there. I wonder what sort of injection
No,
this
that was actually the first vehicle, if I'm not mistaken, with active suspension. It beat the 3000 GT to market.
yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
No, I was gonna say you said suspension. That was spoiler.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, spoiler.
But
Yep, 308 V8. Sorry, you would find this in a 308 QV. So that is the Mondial Dilemma original engine. Perfect. Anyway, I'm gonna have to figure out what these 832s go for because I would like to own one of those.
There's one.
That's right up my alley.
oh, yeah, fair enough.
There's one that was either on BAT or on ARM Sotheby's, which are two totally different auctions.
Yeah,
but
but
what is
I
there?
get why it would be both. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was only like 30s. Like it was like a reasonable price.
that's too much in my book. But I mean, if it was more than
This
the
one
equivalent
was-
E34 M5, I'm out.
No, this one was like a flawless example, like super low mile.
Yeah, I would want one that's mechanically sorted, but I don't really care
Yeah,
about
ooh.
anything else.
So now we're at your second car.
Yep. And then then I had the crazy decision to marry a Minnesotan and move here.
It's a
so
good
you-
decision,
So
sir.
you had two cars while you were in
Yeah,
New Zealand.
yeah.
Okay, and then you came to America, and then we're left with our garbage. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I started out with the garbage tier death trap Volkswagen Cabrio.
Automatic.
Yeah, it was tragic. That was when I got the I got sick of that and got the Scirocco, got that going. I actually took my driving test here in that, and had the
the Scirocco.
Yeah, had the shifter bushings disintegrate during the test and lost second gear and still passed. So
There you go.
You don't need second. 8 valve, you got first and third.
yeah, oh yeah,
How was the American driver's test versus the New Zealand driver's test?
like nothing.
Easy.
Yeah, like
It's garbage, isn't
yeah,
it?
New Zealand. There are you do a theory test, then you've got that's like your learner's permit, and then there are
What age is that? 18?
15.
50? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yep, just like America.
Pretty
Yeah.
low threshold then.
Yeah.
That's good.
But then, like, to actually get your full license, there are 2 tiers of practical test that you have to
God,
do.
we should do that.
You have to
Yeah, we
demonstrate.
just talked about it.
We were
Yeah,
just
you're right.
talking about
Yeah.
this last week.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to demonstrate highway driving. You have to demonstrate being able to do a safe U-turn on a like open road.
God, we should do that in America because we had at.
It's a very simple but very telling test.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
We have no highway testing
Yeah, yeah.
at all.
Oh yeah, I mean, mine was on that little closed road course up in the northern suburbs, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I know what
is
you're
that
talking
it?
about.
Somebody else who was on the course at the time blew a stop sign, and I had to like swerve to avoid them, and yeah, it was like,
My guy was playing with the active seat bolsters on my Mercedes C43 AMG the whole time. I literally just drove around that course doing whatever I wanted, and the guy's like, "This is so cool." It's like,
the guy who tested me had a Sirocco back in the day, so I think I was probably an automatic pass just from that.
I had like the worst
but
example.
you also took the test in a 5-speed.
Yeah.
So I had a nobody does.
Well, this is the other thing that in New Zealand, if you take your test in an automatic,
You're only licensed to drive an
You're only
automatic?
licensed to drive an
Good.
automatic. You have to retake the test for a manual.
Yeah, in Germany you have to use a manual. If you don't have a manual, they will provide you a manual
I
transmission.
am so ashamed of our country.
Yeah, no, America sucks with our drivers. Like our entire road infrastructure, everything is absolutely dreadful. And we should be ashamed.
Well, our infrastructure is massive, and it's actually not that bad in consideration.
Well, no, I mean like just like
Our drivers suck ass.
that's what I mean by our infrastructure, by like the
Can I
the
interest you in a
drivers
2006 Lexus RX 400H?
No, I'd rather kill myself.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you.
So and then that's where we get to your modern cars.
Yeah,
is
and,
the ones we mentioned a little bit before.
Yeah. So then next one was on my like local neighborhood mailing list, a guy was advertising a moving sale.
Of course.
And so amongst the
You live in Northeast, don't you?
like
At that time.
just on the St. Paul side of Northeast.
Yeah,
essentially.
that sounds like a Northeast thing. Is
Yeah.
yeah.
And so amongst like the furniture and like children's toys and stuff like that, there was
Burger, you still have us on the screen grab.
I know. I turned it back on. Keep talking.
there was a Volvo 850R wagon.
Oh, like a late 90s one?
Yep.
You got an
Oh.
850R?
Yeah.
Was it a
of course
manual?
you owned an
No,
850R.
they did not sell a manual 850R.
I was going to say if they did, it wouldn't have lasted because their manuals back in that era were
Yeah.
pretty weak.
Yeah, and the automatic is bulletproof. But anyway, so and I was like, I don't need this, but it was like $1,000, and I was like, oh my God, I might as well take a look. And so I did.
They are fast.
Oh yeah, and so I did. I went fast in it on the test drive.
Allegedly.
Well, as fast as you can in a Volvo. I mean,
Exactly. It's yep. And then like stopped. Like I lived like just a few blocks away.
Yeah.
So I like stopped in the driveway to show my wife, and it wouldn't start.
so she knew it was the right car.
And
This is you.
Yeah.
This car.
it went back to the seller on a flatbed.
And so you got it for even less.
Well, then I said, look, I don't want this. I don't have the time to deal with this, and left. And then, like, it was about a week later, the guy called me and said, hey, look, if no one else seems to be interested, if you don't, if you want to outbid the scrap man,
$1 over
go
scrap.
for it. And so the other thing with this is it came with on like separate set of steel wheels, like an almost brand new set of snow tires.
Perfect.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like, I could essentially sell the snow tires, part out the 850R specific stuff, and do all right.
It's probably like a crank position sensor.
It was. And so
Perfect.
yeah, and so I bought this car.
I've done this before.
I
I bought a car
yeah.
knowing it had a bad CPS, paid them, signed the title, did it in their driveway, and left.
You see, I did not know that.
Oh.
It was intermittent at the time. I bought it for.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
It wouldn't run when the engine was warm, but it would when it was
Yeah,
cold?
the deal with this one, it was the cam angle sensor,
Okay.
which the 850R, the ECU for that, it only uses to get a reference when the engine starts.
Yeah.
And so long as it's working when the engine starts,
Interesting.
it's like fine the rest of the time, as far
Okay.
as I could tell. But like if it's bad while the engine's trying to start, you get nothing.
Weird, because usually
Yeah.
crank sensor is the one where if you're starting,
Yeah.
no start. If
Yeah.
you're running, no run. But cam sensor, it'll start and run, but poorly.
Yeah. It's,
So that's interesting
Yeah,
that
it
it
was-
will outright fail.
yeah, and so it was fine, and so yeah, it was fine for like months after that until I finally like shotgunned parts at it and found it was the cam sensor.
Interesting.
But yeah, so I bought that. I ran it. It was like thoroughly used up, like 220 thousand miles. The front lip was held together with duct tape and zip ties.
Perfect.
Are those white block engines still?
Yep.
The 5 Okay. But
Yep.
you had good luck with it.
Well, it had major
Relatively
oil
good luck.
leaks.
Yeah, but no like head gasket issues or anything
No,
like that.
no, it was. I had to do the story with this was a bit sad. That so I mean the front bumper on it was like trashed, and they're only for the 850R they're pretty much unobtainium, and it was a local guy. He was parting out an 850R in the right color. I bought the bumper off him, fitted it. And then, like, while I had it jacked up and stuff, I did the crankcase breather on that, which is a massive pain in the ass.
Interesting.
Did all that, and then, like,
A pain in the ass job that shouldn't be on a Volvo. Shocking.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like you were saying earlier with the Citroen, those engines are canted way
Yeah.
the back.
yeah, well, this one, it's under the intake manifold at the front. It was one of these experiences that I've tried to block out, but all I remember.
Well, we're bringing you back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it, so
the big
please
thing,
suffer through.
The big thing I do this for you. Really. Yeah, the big thing I
appreciate
remember
it.
from it was having to like put together several, like I think it was like 2 foot-long extension bars with a swivel in between
Yup.
and a deep socket to get onto some of these.
If you don't need a
fasteners.
post-it note with a prescription of which extensions and which socket U-joints to use where, you're not doing a hard job.
Yeah, it was thoroughly unpleasant. So
Try
anyway-
spark plugs on a BMW 6 Series V8 car.
Gross.
3-inch, 3-inch U-joint, 6-inch U-joint, 12-inch. Boom.
no, thank you.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah, yeah. And so I did all of this. Got it running again. Felt really good about it. And then someone ran a stop sign and like just clipped the front corner enough to trash my nice new bumper. And I was just done.
You're just over it.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds like the most.
They
that's-
totaled it, and you're like, fine.
That was the most. That was the most northeast Minneapolis story of a car I've ever heard in my life.
This was the yeah. It was unfortunate. And
Those were expensive cars when they
oh,
were
they
new.
were
42 grand.
yeah,
Holy
like ridiculous.
crap.
And I mean,
Yeah.
you could
That's a
tell. I mean, it's like
ton.
the Alcantara interior and stuff.
Yeah.
Which
I watched the
is-
Motor Week review on it when they were new.
That interior did not hold up.
But the seats
Yeah,
were still
shockingly.
comfortable were they not?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
So Richard, after the
Richard,
Volvo-
may I call you Dick?
I'd rather not.
Okay.
So how many?
Damn.
How many cars have you had in America then? Like as a daily driver?
Yeah, I mean, it was the Cabrio. The Sirocco never really was. Cabrio, the Volvo. Then the Volvo, like, I just kind of rage quit it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
went to Westside and
Oh,
bought
that's
a
when you got
CPO
stupid
GTI,
Volkswagen.
No,
And
your
which-
Mark 7.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then here we are today.
which I regretted almost instantly.
So
I
how
was
did you transition from the Mark 7 to the all-road?
Well, this was another story. So
Yeah, that's why we're here.
yeah. It belongs. It belongs
This
to
is what a podcast
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's an exercise in narcissism.
This is just storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
You just stroke it out into the microphone.
So the All Road belonged to a friend of mine.
Okay.
He'd had it for like 5 or so years and bought it from the original owner.
Okay.
He is the most conscientious guy I've ever met. Like one of these people who is just like sincere and nice to a fault.
And
And
he sold
he bought an
all-road.
all-road.
And he sold an all-road.
That explains why it was
Yeah.
scrap price. Like,
Well-
I cannot in good conscience sell this to anyone except a scrap bidder.
Well, this
the
was
only way you sell one of those is if you're a mattress salesman. Like
Yeah.
you have to be the greasiest sort of greasy.
it wasn't even like that. It was almost a pity move. So this guy, his really good friend, but so he'd had this all road for years, and I mean the air suspension packed up, and it had these oil
For the
leaks.
American listeners that are not cultured, packed up means toast.
It's fucking toasted, honestly. yeah, it needed a thermostat. There was all this stuff wrong with it, and he rage quit it and also bought a GTI.
Oh.
Yeah, but he didn't bother to trade it in or anything. He just
Yeah, probably a good idea.
left it in his apartment's spare parking space.
As one does.
Yeah, and so like
How many of those are in that exact same situation in the United States right now?
I feel like in about 30 years, we're going to see an influx of all roads on the
Barn
road.
find all roads.
Yeah, because they're all, it's just like, somebody's to go through every single
106,000 miles, failed air suspension, needs turbos.
Yeah.
like somebody's to
Take
go
it.
through every condominium, and they're going to buy up like all the all roads. It's like the guy that sent all of his like C10 Skylines to auction at the same time just to drive up the price. I feel like there's somebody with like just like 30 all roads, like all the surviving all roads, and they're gonna do that in like 2040.
When he
All
goes on
road,
his
all
rural,
road.
non-highway trips in 30 years, your barn finds are going to turn into all roads.
Yeah, you're not a.
Oh God, why?
Does your wife like just like dread when you like leave town? He's gonna come back with something dreadful.
Honey, please take the interstate this time.
Slightly.
Then your wife just gets a phone call. Oh yeah, I got myself Dizenberg. A what?
16 cylinders it's got.
This
Yeah.
sounds like my future life.
Yeah, I think this is
Just more glass block and white leather couches
yeah.
for you.
Yeah,
Except
this-
and then
not
orphan
white leather
and
couches.
orphan 280ZXs just everywhere.
Where am I right now?
But so yeah, this guy he was he had to move apartments,
Yeah.
and so the car had to move, and like first
That is how that works.
yeah. And so first thought was that so my father-in-law's got a truck and got access to a car trailer, so I thought like I'll help you move it, and so then we kind of were thinking about this, and he's like, oh no, maybe I'll scrap it. So I went to take a look at the car because like moving day was like approaching and it needed to be out. Like, can we like get this moving under its own power in the parking lot? The answer was the air suspension had sunk so much that the upper control arms were actually
binding.
Well, the upper control arms were like had actually made dents in the wheel arches.
It's an all-road only issue.
Yeah.
Even when the hydraulic suspension packed up on the SL600 downstairs, I could still move it.
Yeah, no, this
Even though it was stance works.
Yeah, this was like scraping just on flat ground.
Yeah, that was too.
Yeah.
It was
but
bad.
yeah, it was tragically bad. So we like with a lot of 2x4s to like make the ramp as long as possible. Like most of the most of the length of the parking lot. We just like had a couple of 2x4s that we like started like building up.
2x4, and then eventually you get.
Where did you get all this lumber? Did you have to cut down?
There's
like,
a Home.
entire-
There's a Home Depot that had to close early.
My
Well, we've done our daily sales.
Yeah.
Wipes their
Is
hands
the
clean.
Home Depot off of Stinson and 35W. It's
The quarry one. That's right by
Yeah.
my
Oh,
company's
yeah,
shop.
that's my local.
Yeah, that's on that they closed early. They had no lumber left.
Yeah,
Me
so
too now, honestly.
so we got the 2-ton car on a 2-ton flatbed trailer. It was.
It is rated to that. That is
It
correct.
didn't look like once it was on there, it did not look like it was actually rated to 2 tons. There was.
When you get things that are like working at what they're like rated for, it is very questionable. Like
Yeah, yeah.
In America,
We're gonna take back roads.
Super,
No, America, we hook it up with no trailer chains to a $500 pickup and we do 90 down the interstate.
Yeah, we're very questionable.
Crabbing because the whole.
In Europe, we hook it to a Fiat 500 and we do 30, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. So we got it
That's
home.
what I do.
And that's how you ended up at my
And,
shop with.
Well, this was I know
all roaded.
this was like a couple of years ago, and so got the air suspension fixed up.
You've had this for years and it hasn't bitten you back. Like,
Yeah, no, it's been. I mean, got the air suspension fixed
You
up.
really, really do
Did the
need to do a
thermostat.
trans service.
Yeah, probably.
No, not a probably. That, like, it needs it.
Don't worry, we got a 2.7 donor car in the back. When yours inevitably blows up.
Trust me, it's way cheaper to do a $500 trans service because it needs that Pentos and ATF1. It's expensive fluid, but that ZF5 trans is fine as long as it still has reverse in it.
Yeah,
But you really do need to do a trans service if you're keeping
probably,
it.
probably.
No, again,
Don't worry,
not probably.
I will take
This
care
is
of
a-
it.
Okay, you
this
really
is a
Richard,
fact.
I'll take care of you on that.
Please do a trans
So
service.
there's
it really
one.
needs it.
There's one more topic that I want
Hate
to talk
that car,
about.
but I want it to
about
live.
with your cars, or with you as a guest. Is you have a cat, and Burger likes cats.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
just
Oh,
Jana.
we have
Tell
two-
me about. Okay.
We have two
wait,
cats.
Wait. Burger, are you drinking your beer with the?
Yeah,
Okay, just want.
it's fine. We're talking about cats.
Okay, cats. Sorry.
Yes, I have
Yes.
the Earth Murder. The Turtle Murder tabs on it. I
Yeah,
don't
just
know.
don't get your head stuck in it.
Yes.
Oh yes, yeah. So two cats. They are brother and sister.
Didn't work.
They are my children.
Yep.
Good.
Good.
They.
Do you have photos of your cats?
Oh, absolutely.
Would you please show me one or two?
My phone fell out of my pocket, I think. Here we go.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'll try to like play the Jeopardy music or something. Oh, there it is. Okay, we found the phone.
So
So.
excited for cats. You gotta show him pictures of Modi.
I'll grab a picture of Modi I took this morning to show you
Yay.
just how much of a ham my cat is.
He's very fat. I tell people he's my son.
Large adult son.
Yes.
He is very large. Jana.
Oh my god. Don't. Oh. You and Corey always send me pictures of him,
Well,
and I'm
yeah.
like, yay.
Heckin' shocker.
Yeah, this is my idiot boy.
Show the camera too, but
Oh, this one here.
Ow.
oh shoot, sorry, hold on.
Oh.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, look at that heckin' chonker.
Yeah,
He's
he's.
blepping too, isn't
Oh yeah, he is like a chronic blepper.
Yes.
Do subscribe to reddit.com/r/blep.
Oh yes.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Also,
I see it. But
yeah, just
cats.
like. Yes.
Oh, what a hefty boy.
Yeah, and just like he thinks he's a small dog. Like
Oh.
he is like so excited to meet new people and plays fetch.
That's a
And,
big boy.
oh yes. Oh my goodness, that tum.
He's got a big tum.
He's a fixer.
White cats are like just the most special. I love them.
They seem like they are the most charismatic of all cats, and maybe
Yeah.
the clingiest. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure on
I'm
that.
surprised, like, with how much orange he has, that he's not more talkative.
He's a van cat, apparently, so he's got the raccoon tail or whatever,
Yeah.
the orange raccoon tail. I woke up this
A
morning.
van cat.
A van. That's his breed. V-A-N. Yeah, I know that appeals to you.
Yes, it does.
Because you like vans.
I love vans.
Modi is all about van culture.
You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to get a Dodge Tradesman with a
This
picture
is
of Modi on
this
it.
is his sister Gracie.
Oh, man, what a thickie.
Yeah, she is thick. Yeah.
What a hefty gal.
The funny thing is, she weighs like nothing.
Really?
We
Well, yeah, it's a cat.
like we
I have to deliberately computer control his food intake to keep him
Yeah,
under
yeah.
18 pounds.
yeah no she weighs like I think like
His cat actually
10
weighs less than his
10
niece.
Yeah, 10, 11 pounds. Like she's tiny, but she's just really baggy.
You mean more than...
Captain Fuckboy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, more
Oh my
than
goodness.
his niece. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Modi.
Yeah, so we refer to her as a very small cat in a large cat-shaped bag.
Oh,
Well,
Gracie.
I'm sure
You should
that.
come back so we can talk cats some more.
Not only
because-
that, I'm
The
sure
cats,
you and your wife are
Yeah.
welcome to Laserdisc movie
Are,
night.
are
any
they
other day.
receptive to like going places?
We haven't taken them places much before.
This Motorplex is very cat friendly.
Yeah.
Modi's been here a couple times.
Oh my god, that's like my we keep
We have photos of him walking around the Murcielago right after it arrived.
we keep ours indoors, but like my dream would be to be able to work on the car with the cats.
With the cats.
I mean, they help a lot when I'm doing.
I don't know where you found this guy, but he's great.
I know. I told you he's great. He's a
Yeah.
perfect guest.
I mean,
He
they.
found them in a Wendy's parking lot.
yeah, I did.
I used to go to the Sonic meets and never saw you there, so sorry.
When I met at the Sonic meet, I was talking to some of my friends about Honda something or other, and then I saw this like weird little wagon drive in, and so he's like, "What the hell is that?" I'm like, "I don't know," and I had to like run over to it because if I don't know what
I just picture your head tilting back.
if I don't know what a car is, I immediately have to figure it out because I know what most cars are, and about a third of them I find interesting.
Yes.
So there's a bit of a story actually as to how I sort of ended up like getting part of the whole scene thing. So this was when I had the 850R. I was an active member on the opposite lock sub forum of Jalopnik.
Sure. Oh, wow, that's early.
Yeah. And so back then, like every once in a while, like a particularly good opposite lock post would get front paged on Jalopnik.
Yeah.
And so I wrote a kind of tongue-in-cheek review of my 850R, and it got front paged.
Holy shit.
And through that, Ultimish from the Volvo Club found
Yeah.
me.
Ultima Showstone?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I love Ultimate.
He's a
Chuck.
very
That's awesome.
talented photographer.
He's a great photographer.
Yeah, and so
He took the best picture I ever got of my African American M3.
He's also not only that, he's also really generous because
I've never met him.
a lot of the photos from
Oh, yeah.
he's a really nice guy. A lot of the photos from
We
the
should have him on the
NNCC
podcast
blog,
then.
We actually should. Why don't we have all?
I don't know his contact. You should.
I'll contact him, but no, we had him on. Or I used him a lot for photos with him in CDC blog because he was just like super generous with that. He's a great guy.
Yeah. He's taken some wonderful ones at the Triumph too. I mean, I still I don't have a Volvo, but I still hang out with the Volvo Club crowd.
Are you looking for that photo he took of your car?
No, I'm just trying to find a decent photo of Mr. Wags that isn't on a flatbed from a water pump job.
I was just going to say, is that representative of the ownership experience?
No, that was after I got rear-ended and the person got death threats from other people in the car community, and then the body shop didn't do the water pump clips correctly. I was trying to show you my wagon because it's amazing.
He's
I
very,
love
very
the
proud of this.
pictures
This
like,
is my best car, no questions asked.
I love seeing pictures at your dad's old building
I know the
because
old
then
shop,
I think
I miss
of
it.
of
Trig?
Hefty Cat,
Oh,
Hefty
Buff
Cat.
Kitty.
Buff Kitty.
I wonder if I have
Like
pictures
that's
of
what
Buff
it
Kitty.
reminds me of Buff Kitty. And it
But anyway,
makes me so
this is
happy.
before I'd slammed up my giant brakes on it. But this is my rarest car here.
Oh,
One of 183.
oh God! A BMW wagon is definitely
Not only that-
6-speed rear-wheel drive.
It's the way it should be.
NA straight 6 3-liter.
It's
I've done
basically-
all the enthusiast mods. I've
It's
done the big
kind
brakes.
of like it's like your Triumph with modern.
yeah. Yep.
Oh, I love that. I have had regrettably little experience with BMWs.
Oh, that's when I drove through downtown Chicago and there weren't any gas stations, and I got to the gas station on the other side of town after driving 34 miles on zero.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
I was terrified.
That's how Chicago.
Oh, this
goes.
waffle. Oh,
Yeah.
leaving that on the screen for sure.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so,
Sorry, I do tangents too. I don't know if you guys knew that, but
Yeah.
but yeah, no, you should definitely bring your cats to Let's Just Movie Night.
This is why
Oh,
we
totally.
have the podcast because we just
Yeah.
have these conversations on our own, and we figured maybe.
I was coming to
people-
Saturday. I'm like, podcast time, and it's always like, that was really interesting.
Oh yeah. No. No. That reminds me. I need to.
We're gonna have to
get
make
around-
you a regular down here for
I need
sure.
I need to get around to fixing my Laserdisc player.
I have a spare if you need to borrow one.
He actually does. It just was not reliable enough for Let's Just Movie Night. Now we have an auto flipper.
It was reliable. It didn't have the auto flip
Yeah.
function.
Yeah. Mine's got that, and it's like one side the track's obviously sticky, and so it skips.
Pioneer,
Yep.
CLD, what?
10.
Oh, you got a high end one.
It's like
I've got a 925.
okay, yeah. It's like one of the really high end. It's the whole. It's amazing. It is the most.
Can I give you a high five
Oh,
right
yeah.
now?
It is the most. It is the most extra piece of audio equipment I own. You push the button, and the entire front panel, like display and buttons, opens up for the tray to come out.
That's actually pretty cool.
This man is my spirit animal.
I told you would love him.
I also.
Where did you come from? Okay, yeah, you already
Yeah,
told me that.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
He's upside down you.
Yeah, I also have like
Good, we can coexist.
old Bang & Olufsen stereo gear, stuff like that.
We should talk high-end audio sometime.
Yes, please.
I'm
So,
still
but
trying to find some Martin.
before we continue on with some more tangenty stuff,
We should probably not continue on because we're
I just want to squeeze in this one thing because I did
do your
note-
philanthropy thing and
Yep.
then we're done because we're almost at 2 hours.
Yes, we are.
Longest podcast episode ever.
Yeah,
Probably, but it's
Yeah.
well worth it, and it's good all the way through, so it's not a problem.
I wanted to bring up something really cool. One of our listeners did, Lorenzo Wade. He's
That name sounds really familiar.
He does a lot of like lowrider stuff, like mini truck stuff. But he
I
also
think he's in TCBMW.
yeah, I think he might have had one like for a very short period of time. But right now he's got an EF Civic for his winter beater. But he's Native American, and he is actually doing a big donation drive for the big homeless encampment in South Minneapolis off of Hiawatha, the Frytown. So
I'm not aware of Frytown, but
have you ever driven past Hiawatha and seen the gigantic homeless encampment full of like teepees and like endless tents?
no, I just see light rail and a lot of stoplights.
Yeah, there's
And Minnehaha Falls.
it's the largest homeless encampment in the history of the state of Minnesota. It's massive.
Oh, hopefully they have good community.
Well, they have a lot of people helping out. So Natives Against Heroin and Lorenzo are helping out with the donation drive that's going on today. I donated some food and some clothes and stuff and gloves and everything.
We should tell people what they accept and how to donate then.
Yeah, no, it's what you want to do is contact. You can contact Natives Against Heroin, and one second, I got the guy's information right here. 1 second here. James Cross is the leader of that. And he's usually down there at the encampment itself during daytime hours. And he's, especially on weekends and stuff. And if you can usually go there. Homemade food is a little weird just because you have to like file health code with that.
Yeah.
But like stuff like ramen noodles and, clothes of any sorts, really
Do they accept
anything helps.
canned goods?
Canned goods worked perfectly.
Okay.
Anything you can do to help out really helps them out a lot. And, yeah, and Lorenzo was super happy. I only made a small donation, but even then, that was it helps them out a lot. So, when you're living next to the light rail in Hiawatha, anything is better than nothing. So,
Yeah.
even if you think it's too small, just go by. If it's like a can of soup,
buy
that's
him
gonna
a-
make somebody's day.
And,
Gonna
like,
buy him a leaky 850R automatic.
Yeah, there you go. He's gonna love it. Somebody's gonna be really happy. You know why? Because the heat's gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And the thing is,
Seats are
like,
so comfortable.
I
Yeah.
know a lot of people are like, well, why don't they go into like a shelter or something like that?
Dude, the homeless
And-
situation's so complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like this encampment is on land that is really close to a plot of land that a local reservation owns.
Okay.
And they are working on building a building for affordable housing that has mental health counseling and
Nice.
a clinic on a lower level and like
That's
all
smart.
the services you need to bring them back into the community.
Sure.
And so like hopefully that works out, but like it's not like no one's doing anything about this. And
Right.
so like they're working really hard on trying to like solve it a little bit.
It's good. I think Minneapolis is definitely pushing most of the effort on this
Yeah.
because when I was in college, we did in our design class, we picked a nonprofit to work with, and we ended up doing one of the Minneapolis-based ones that works out of Central Lutheran Church
Yeah.
primarily, and we did a lot of work for them, and we were required, but I mean optionally required to go out to the facility and
Help
hear with
out,
all these
yeah.
people, and like it was eye-opening. To
Yeah,
say the
it
least.
puts
So-
it puts a lot of stuff in perspective, and it feels really good to help out. you
It
know?
does, and I mean the people that are homeless generally. I mean, it's not by choice,
No.
No,
and there
no,
are
nobody
it's
wants to
'cause
be.
society's just turned their back on them. So
Exactly.
I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Anything that's doable. Is
Yeah,
very,
so
very good.
Lorenzo and his mini truck club. I'll get the actual name of the club, and we inevitably do our bulk upload onto the website of what we're doing here.
Can you put it into the 60? What is this?
Yeah, I'll put.
Can you put it into
I
the
can.
episode
I'll
notes
put
so
it
I
in the
can-
episode notes.
okay.
He plans on doing another drive sometime in summer, and
Okay.
actually, make like a cool presentation, everything where a bunch of dudes like mini trucks like show up with like beds full of like
We'll just all
food
hop
and
in
stuff.
Tucker's truck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Tucker's got a mini truck, so that'd be perfect.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I got a
He's
van.
2200.
I've got a van for things like this, so yeah, we're gonna do another one
take
come summer
Brexit?
once they get. Yeah, we can take Brexit too.
Hopefully it's K24 swap.
Have you seen Brexit?
I have not. What?
Oh man, you gotta show him Brexit.
Oh,
You guys keep
we'll,
talking.
we'll,
I'll find Brexit.
we'll talk about this after the podcast, though. Yeah.
good call since we're at 2 hours.
We're at 2 hours. This can go on until the end of until sundown.
Yeah, but
So-
we'll put links on the Facebook
Yes, we will.
page.
We
Yeah,
will put
yeah,
some-
I'll put
we'll
them in
some links
everything
on-
as long as they're in the episode notes. And
Yeah,
get-
I'll
get
make
the
sure I
word
get that
out.
all taken care of. But yeah, so Nave's considering
This week,
helping out a lot.
instead of considering being a Patreon patron, please give to this cause.
Yeah, because normally we tell you to give to us and give to someone else. So
We
that
can
would be-
afford beer, they can't afford the things they need.
Yeah,
so.
a house is a lot more important than a beer. Which my beer is empty, which means on that bombshell, I think we should end the episode so I
Sounds
can
good.
get a new
Thank
beer.
you all so much for sticking with us for
Richard,
2 hours.
you are
Thank you very
welcome
much, Richard. We hope to have you back a
whenever.
bunch, even
Yes.
if you
Oh,
don't bring
thank
your
you.
cats. But
Yeah,
please
just
do.
come by whenever you have a free day.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, thank you. This has been fantastic.
It's been a blast. Yeah, love
We've
it.
loved having you on. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
down and taking some hours out of your day.
Oh yeah.